X. Alright, mine in your pocket. Hey. Okay, I don't want to listen to this shit. X3, whatever. Am I in your pocket? You're gonna have to unmute yourself or I'm gonna drop you. Good morning, JB. UK JB. Help me tap the screen. All that nifty stuff. I was just listening to Anthony. Boy, he's wigging out this morning. Really showing his non-liberal colors, going after liberals. Mutilate and sterilize children. Would you like to have a conversation? You can request up, or you can just say stupid shit from the comments. I guess it's up to you. Morning, Jorts.
I voted for Trump.
Oh, you did make it up here. I was in your pocket before, or some shit. How old are you?
How'd you know? 29.
Do you still support Trump?
Of course I do. He's the best president we've ever had. How can you not support Trump?
Because he's fucking up the country. He's going into countries that he shouldn't be going into. He's screwing up the economy. He's making us pay higher rate. He's making us pay more for everything that we buy every day.
Do you think Harris will be involved with Iran?
No.
Then you don't understand how America's military works.
I understand just fine.
Okay, you realize we're always in a war, right?
No.
Okay, when were we not in a war?
And plenty of times we were not in a war.
Like when?
Under Biden?
We were in a war during Biden.
What? What were we in?
We were in Iraq.
No. We pulled out of Iraq a long time ago. He pulled out of Afghanistan the first year he was in office.
And then what?
And then what? We're not always in a war. Nor do we have to be in a war. Nor is there any reason at all for us to be in Iran.
Does our military not lose a lot of money when we're not in wars?
Who cares?
Yeah, you don't understand how it works.
Our military-industrial complex gets its money whether we're in a war or not. And as of right now, because of Donald Trump, we're spending $1.1 trillion on our military-industrial complex, going to corporations right now. Your tax dollars going to corporations to build shit that we shouldn't even be using.
Okay, so if you have one of the most competitive militaries in the world, you're probably going to be using it.
You shouldn't, though. Do you? Do you think you really should? Do you really think?
Well, you need to test your weapons.
You can test your weapons without killing people.
That's very true. But they do. So, while we're not going to test weapons, where would we test them exactly? Where would we test nukes?
We tested nukes in the desert and off the islands near Hawaii.
Yeah, I don't think American citizens would like that.
Okay, we don't have to test nukes anymore. We already did that. We already know how to make them.
And test nukes in the ocean? Yeah, I don't think...
We don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to do that anymore. We already know how to make them.
I don't think the fish would like that very much.
Okay, again, we don't have to do that anymore. We already know how to make them. There's no testing needed.
And we make new ones every year, right?
Yes, and we don't have to test them.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. That's like they saying you have to test fire every Glock that you build.
That's so when we're in a real conflict, we know it works.
We know they work. We know the physics behind it.
Okay, the other powerful militaries in the world, they also are always in wars.
Okay, there's absolutely no reason for us to be in a war. There's absolutely no reason for us to be spending $1.1 trillion on our military-industrial complex every year. There's absolutely no reason for us to imperialize other countries and decide who the leaders of other countries are. Besides, Donald Trump said no new wars. That's what you voted for.
The U.S. doesn't have very many natural resources, right?
We have every natural resource you can possibly imagine.
We don't have oil.
We have tons of oil.
No, we get most of our oil from Canada.
That's ridiculous. Okay, you don't know shit about shit.
Yeah, you don't know
That's why you
shit.
voted for Trump.
You don't know shit.
All right, you are what's wrong with
You
this
don't
country.
know shit.
What's up, B?
Aw, he was fun.
No, he wasn't. He was dumb as shit.
Well, you're going to be pressed to find intelligent ones. I think the only intelligent ones I've really met are the regulars on the live. I think Donovan's pretty intelligent.
I was listening to Anthony. Boy, he's going off this morning.
Who's Anthony?
He was on the panel yesterday, and he's been running his own lives. Messi's kind of been helping him. He's a conservative. Okay. He's a conservative dude, but boy, he gets pissed off at liberals, and he just kicks them off the panel. He doesn't even let him finish his statement. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard, and just kicks him off.
Yeah, I found I can't go on conservative lives just because of that. And then it just drives me crazy because I'm somebody who has to finish my statement. So I just know better now.
Yeah, Truther. He is live right now if you want to go over there. I mean, you're just dumb as he is, so. You guys probably get along famously, I'm sure.
I don't think I've been on this early.
No, shit, I used to be on at one point in time, I was getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning my time just to go live.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I did a 24-hour live to see what time of day I'd have the most viewers, and as it turns out, 3 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time is a great time to go live because that's when everybody's getting up to go to work on the East Coast, so you get a lot of viewers. At 5 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of viewers, so I did that for a while. I would get up at like 3 or 4 in the morning and go live then at my time anyway. But now I was just disillusioned by TikTok in general, and the morning numbers were fading. And so I have just been staying up later. I mean, I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning last night, so.
Jesus Christ, do you sleep?
Yeah. I mean, I slept for 6 hours.
7 to 8, Mojo, 7 to 8.
Yeah, I don't ever do that. I don't know that I've ever really done that in my life.
Have you always struggled with sleeping like the allotted time that you should?
Not necessarily struggled, but I was always doing something. So I spent a decade on the road playing pool, which meant that I had early checkout times, which meant that I would go to a 24-hour pool hall often and stay up until I could get an early check-in time, and that would give me an extra day to sleep or to stay at a hotel. So I got used to like sleeping odd schedules, and then I got used to sleeping not very much because of games, pool games I was in and stuff. So,
They would have loved you in healthcare, man. You would have been taking all the shifts.
well, I definitely took all the shifts when I was at the pool halls. That was the first thing I would do is this is back in the day when we still had phone books. So, early 90s, I guess. I'd drive into a town and stop by a phone booth, grab the billiards pages out of the phone book, the yellow pages, and start hitting the pool halls one at a time whenever I went into a new town.
You can't be that old. How old are you?
I'm 52.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. I can't predict human age anymore. I'm done. I'm bad at it.
Born in 1973.
That's wild. Because I've seen you. I think when I first started going on is when you first stopped going on camera.
Yeah.
I thought maybe early 40s. I honestly could have thought you were my age.
Yeah, I have Native American blood in me, so I'm not very wrinkled. I look a little younger than I probably should. I don't know. I went into politics in the early 2000s, so I spent most of the early 2000s, or actually most of the 2000s, dealing with politics. So I did a lot of debating, arguing, stuff like that. So kind of kept my mind sharp, and then I took a little time off, and then I started listening to a bunch of podcasts in the late teens. And then I did a little bit of debating then, and then I started doing TikTok. So I can still speak all right. I mean, I stutter a little bit, but I still have a pretty good memory and stuff too. Not the best, but all right.
You know what it is? It's because you're vegetarian. That's what it is. For sure. Dude, meat ages you.
This ought to be interesting if he comes up. I used to tell everybody my age before I went on camera, and then everybody didn't believe me when I went on camera, so I decided to stop telling people my age. So, feel lucky.
Yeah.
Somebody was dressing up. His name was Cracker.
That's a bannable offense. Oh, wait, no, that's Twitch, huh?
That was Twitch. It was Twitch. It's not anymore. Like, that was a short-lived thing. That only lasted for a short period.
I don't know. It's a weird word to me.
It's an attempt at an insult. I think that white people are generally not offended by being called a cracker. I've got somebody the other day said, I'm a variety pack of crackers. Got a little bit of everything in me.
Yeah, I'm a whole wheat cracker.
A whole wheat cracker.
Yeah, I'm a little brown, a little white. I think you have some people in the queue. There are people in the comments saying that they're in the queue.
I have one person in queue right now. That's it. I've been watching.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying.
And they're not coming up either.
Hello?
Nobody. Oh, we did. Amazing. Can I get your age and who you voted for?
26 and Kamala.
Can you blow your nose?
I don't have any tissues. I look for one though. Hold on.
What the hell?
That was. Wow. I can't even. I don't know that I can even imitate that. It is wild. He obviously needs to blow his nose.
Everyone sent him some roses so he can blow his nose. Christ, man.
Well, you asked me to.
Did you say you voted for Harris?
Huh?
Huh? Did you say you voted for Harris?
What?
You're dumb. What the fuck? Okay, this is what it used to be like when I used to go live too. The first 10 people were like just batshit crazy and dumb. This is normal. Maybe I can get back to normal by going live in the mornings again. Hence the background. I've had this background for over a year.
Yeah, I think the first ones are always a little funny.
And now he wants back up. You can't come up. You're going to blow your nose in my fucking ear, and then you're going to say huh a couple times when I ask you a pretty simple question. I understand that I'm probably a little bit quiet, but if you can't hear me at all, then yeah, no. I have no interest in talking to you. Besides, you're a fucking liberal. Democrats are toasting the midterms. They aren't taking shit. Interesting. I think we'll be just fine in the midterms. Go ahead. You think people what?
Oh, I said that when I used to do the lives, people would come up and they wouldn't even know what the prompt was. Like I always had a prompt. I don't do like blank ones. I would always have a prompt. And I would ask them what they thought about the prompt, and they'd be like, I don't know. What is the prompt? I was like, what's the point of you coming on if you don't even know the fucking prompt?
I always love when somebody sits in the request box for a little while and then comes up and says, what are we talking about? Or even if they don't even sit in the fucking request box for a while, even if they just come up, their first question is, like, as soon as they get up, they say, what are we talking about? Just fucking listen for a sec, you dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. I had a prompt. Well, it wasn't my prompt. It was one of my friend's prompts. She had a prompt that said, is Palestinian resistance reactionary? And it was obviously a rage baity prompt. And we asked the person what they thought of it. He said he didn't know what the prompt was. We then said the prompt to him. He said he didn't know what Palestinian resistance meant. We explained that to him. Then he said he didn't know what reactionary meant. And so it was like the only word he knew was the word is. And so it's just, I don't know, people just want to talk to somebody, I think.
Yeah. And this is the easiest place to do that. Just scrolling through lives, click on a request, and you're on the panel. Forget about it. You lost, bro, just like your party. You better prep yourself, forget about it, for some socialism. It's coming your way, and it's going to hit you straight in the face if you don't see it coming. Discussing a complex political prompt with the audience. Share your thoughts. That's the AI overview. That's funny. Complex political prompt.
Well, reading's hard for them, so put anything up there with words and they'll say it's complex for them.
I guess so. Well, I don't know what's happened this morning. Everybody's talking about either the case or Hassan Piker. Did you
what case?
Are you fucking serious?
Okay, I'm not that person. I don't know if you were talking about it before I got in.
No, you don't know what case that's going on right now? You don't know the important case that's going on right now that everybody's talking about?
Dude, I've been doing back-to-back blood pressure drives. I did one yesterday for like 15 fucking hours. I'm exhausted.
Oh, shit. Are you a phlebotomist?
No, I've been doing them because my school, I'm a nurse. My school needs volunteer hours. It requires that I do it. So I just do all these. I would do them anyway. I used to do them all the time. Yeah. So I do these. And so this one I've been doing with my school. That's why it's been like so crazy. I usually wouldn't book this many. So I hadn't been paying attention to the news or much other than that.
Okay, well, I don't remember the name. I don't remember her name, but a woman that killed her 3 kids, and a husband wasn't there when it happened, and then I don't know. It was a couple of years back, and there was a civil trial already, and everybody's arguing whether she's guilty or innocent or reasonable or insanity, I guess.
Oh, this is the labor and delivery nurse.
Is she? Okay, I don't know.
Yes.
That
yeah,
I
we learned about this one in school. It's a labor and delivery nurse, and she had like severe postpartum depression that eventually, like after a year, it turns into postpartum psychosis. And yeah, she unalived her 3 kids, man. It's fucking wild. You know what's crazy is that when women do kill, which they don't often do, but when they do, it's usually nurses.
Someone said they kill a lot.
I think in comparison to men, I think it is relatively low.
No,
but then
I
I
think
mean,
it's higher than men.
What? That's not possible.
It is. Women.
Is it for
women.
abortion?
What is they? No, they don't have abortion in there either. What is it called? Pat. It's not. I can't remember what it's called.
Crimes
Killing
of
your
passion?
family? No, killing your family. Patricide or something side.
Familicide or something like that, yeah.
No.
I don't know. I think statistically the homicide rate for men is like 70%. So it is higher than like violent crimes.
Filicide is what I was thinking about.
Oh.
When you kill your own child, filicide.
Yeah, that I would say that might be more common amongst women, unaliving your own kids.
Yeah.
But in like the overall homicide picture, men are around 70%. Homicides are by men.
Well, yeah, overall homicide, sure. Disagree with that. But when you're killing your own kids, I guess women do that quite a bit more. And it's not an abnormal occurrence. I guess it happens more often than you think it happens. They just
for sure.
Every case just doesn't make it to the front pages.
I thought killing your children was infanticide.
That's just killing children. An infant under 1 year of age. Filicide is killing your own child. Neonaticide, newborn within the first 24 hours of life. Maternal filicide refers to an act when committed by a mother.
You know your sides, don't you?
No, I'm just reading it from Google.
Okay.
I Googled that crap.
I thought that was your special interest there for a minute.
Absolutely not. I couldn't even remember the damn name of it. So I had to Google it so I could remember the name that was being used or being.
So my question to you guys is, what chance do you have of helping the last 30% of cult zombies? Are they beyond help? And do you actually look in the mirror and question your own sanity that you think you have a chance of converting the bottom feeders?
No, yes, no.
You can't do it in 5 minutes on one of these things. They need psychiatric help and pills. So how 5 minutes on a TikTok live is going to help them, I have no idea. As a therapist, I just don't know how you do it.
All right, so it's interesting. I've been doing this since Donald Trump was reelected, and I've known a couple people who voted for Trump this time who were a little bit hesitant about voting for Trump and didn't support all of his ideas that he was putting forth, especially not all of his executive orders on the first day. So there are things that they would defend, things that they wouldn't defend. They would have normal arguments, normal discussions. Today, those people that I'm thinking of, they will defend every single thing Trump does.
Yes, and if you don't listen to their defence, you get removed from their room. There's no debate. They're incapable of debate. They're incapable of reason. So then you've got to start questioning the person that's in charge of the room as to what is the point. If you got a chance, I mean, there was going to be a drop dead. There's going to be a ceiling. So let's say that basement line is 27%. 27% of Americans and below are beyond help. They cannot be helped. They belong in asylums. So, there's that you can't give them 10 years of psychiatric help. You just give them a pill, feed them, and go show them to their room where they can sleep and show them where the toilet is. That's it. That's all you can do.
That's funny. Generally speaking,
there is an element. I know that's quite
generally speaking, they're still pretty productive members of society. I don't think we have to worry about putting them in jail cells or padded cells or anything like that. We just know that they're going to vote for Republicans and they're going to vote for anybody Donald Trump tells them to vote for until Donald Trump is passed away. Just something we have to deal with. There are a lot of people in this country that will vote one way or another. I am vote blue no matter who, so I'm going to vote for Democrats no matter who the candidate is. So I don't know. I guess I'm crazy too.
Well, no, I would argue that in today's world, the whole planet world governments, when he moves on, are going to have a national holiday. That's everyone. China, Iran, North Korea, the whole of Europe, Africa, everyone is going to have a national holiday when this is over. Everyone's had enough.
It depends on who wins the next election.
Well, it is. We're all losing our jobs. We all can't pay for fuel. It's not just about America. I know there's about 60% of Americans haven't left the country, so they don't realise that their foreign policy affects the whole planet.
All right, you start fucking with my country, and I'm going to yell at you and then boot you off my panel.
No, I'm telling you the facts. That's what we see.
Yeah, I don't care what you see.
All right.
Have you been to the U.S.?
Yeah, a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, where?
New York. I've been to New York 4 times. Is that indicative of the US?
I don't know. Depends. I mean, if you hit the rural West, probably not. If you hit, well, no, actually, the entire country is going to be different depending on where you go. California.
Exactly. I think state by state, everything's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah. We're not bad people. This isn't a bad country. The United States is not doing anything wrong. We have one leader that was elected and is doing all kinds of stupid shit right now. We are going to try and fix that a little bit in the midterms by flipping over Congress. But I don't know that there's a whole lot we could do according to our system right now other than that. So there's no reason for you to attack the entirety of the United States. I'm not attacking Americans. I'm attacking the administration. It's a joke. Well, that's not what you said, though. You said America. You said America and Americans. Yeah, sorry. Well, that's my error. I'll have to target administration. I don't think Americans are bad. I think the majority of you are good. I think you have the right intentions. I think you understand what liberty means. Some of them don't. And I think overall, every country makes errors. But I think recently now, I can't think of one good thing that orange chicken has done in the last year and a half. Not one. Wait, sound like you live in the UK? I do live in the UK, but I'm not English. Okay. Do you vote in the UK? I do vote in the UK, yes. You guys had that little fucking dude with the messy hair that looked like Donald Trump Jr. Yeah, we called him son of Trump, yes. Okay. So another idiot, yeah. Should I give you guys shit about him? Yeah, look, please. I mean, I will agree with everything you say. Okay, just checking. Yeah, I'll agree that we had a moment of temporary madness, but I don't get emotional about it. I realise that was a complete mistake. Somehow the train left the tracks, and we were like, "What the hell are we doing?" That was Britain's version of the populist votes. It didn't last very long, and the buffoon got removed. But the beautiful thing about, I suppose, most of European parliaments is the vote of no confidence. So when you get someone that is clearly deranged, you can remove him immediately. America, it seems really hard to get rid of someone that's clearly a tyrant. Yeah,
and you can't get rid of him.
I agree with that statement.
So I don't know if there needs to be does there need to be a constitutional change to allow that to happen in the future?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But you guys have for a parliamentary system. We have a presidential system, so
you do,
congressional system. So yeah, we'd have to change our entire constitution if we're going to do that, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
But for the benefit of America, it seems like that's something that needs to be considered, given what's happened recently. What's to stop another tyrant doing exactly what Trump's doing in the future?
The people, the voters.
Yeah, but if he, you might be able to help me with this because you'll know the answer. I don't. If he wants to invoke martial law before the midterms, does he have to get congressional approval?
Generally speaking, yes. I mean, he can do it for a short period of time without congressional approval, but it has to go through Congress at some point.
Right. Okay.
But I would say that that's never happened in the United States, nor could it happen right now. So, no, I don't think you can do that right now. And I think any and all of the courts would stop him from doing that right now.
Sure. Okay, that's good news. My fear is he somehow declares it as the power man and does it by executive order, which he seems to love, bypassing Congress.
There are Americans that feel the same, that feel like he's going to at least try to do that. I don't think that he will try. I think he's trying to fuck with the elections, but
I think you're right. I think it's a lot of hot air, a lot of sabering, but well, he's a taco, isn't he? It's just all hot air. There's nothing behind it.
All right, I'm bored. B, do you want to talk to him? I just want to argue with conservatives, so I don't want to just bitch about the U.S.
I'm not bitching about the U.S. I'm bitching about the admin.
Okay, again.
Where are you from in the UK? From Brighton or what?
I'm from London.
Oh, nice, a Londoner. Are you living in London now?
Yeah, I'm Zone 6. I don't know if you know London, but obviously as you get out the centre of London, the further you go out of London, the zones change, like the underground map. So central London is Zone 1, and I'm Zone 6. And it goes up to Zone 9.
Where did you go in New York when you came to visit?
I stayed in Manhattan, obviously with my name being Pelham. I took an interest in the taking of Pelham 123 in the end of the train. So I went to Pelham Broadway, Pelham Park, for no other reason other than my name. So that was my narcissistic visit. I did a lot of things. I spent 2 weeks in Manhattan. You know, it's a strange thing, Manhattan, when you've spent a life as a child watching Hollywood movies. And I imagine for any tourist going there, you feel like you've been there before. That it's part of you because of Hollywood's influence. So yeah, I did as much stuff as I could do in the day, and from going around Manhattan, Ellis Island, Statue of Liberty, the library, Grand Central Station, Statue of Liberty. I think I did everything. I went to Peter Luger's in Brooklyn for a steak. Did all the food things I could think of. Yeah, it was great. I thoroughly enjoy the chaos of New York.
Yeah, it is pretty chaotic there. How's so every time I talk to someone from the UK, they seem to like to bring up immigration. What's your opinion on immigration? And
my opinion on immigration is it's not what the politicians are making it to be. It hasn't really changed much. So there's a focus on the inflatables coming across the channel. It only accounts for 4.8% of immigrants into the UK per year. But because it's a visible thing with men with beards, that works on the lowest mindset in the UK. So they see it as an invasion. It's quite hilarious. And the likes of Tommy Robinson and Nigel Farage, who you are well aware of in America, because they are supported by Donald. They are pushing the narrative that's supported by Elon Musk of the far fascist right-wing agenda. But it's not having the grip in the UK as they expected. It spiked, but now with the demise of the administration in the US, it seems to be lagging here as well, that their voice is going. The bottom feeders of this country, the lowest of the low, are retreating back to their televisions and going back into their houses. They came out briefly waving the UK flag and came up to London to protest. They felt part of something, and now they've gone back home. It's the best way to say it, I suppose. Immigration is an important part of our country and any country in the world. Whether you want to make an alien of it or not is up to individual countries. I can't see it being a problem. The only time it becomes a problem is when those people come with their own agendas, but they don't last long. We've had a history of that over the last 30 years. Hamza Yusuf was a famous one with the claw hand, but he's no more. Preaching hate through Islam. Yeah, he's gone. And now everyone that is a potential threat is on the MI5 and MI6 watch list now in the UK. And so a lot of good work happens before they decide to put on a belt and do their thing. They get caught.
Do you think that Britain sometimes mislabels people as like radical Islamists when they're not? Like, for example, I have heard about what happened with Hassan Piker and Cenk Uygur. Do you think that's
I think it does happen. I think that's the failure of any system, that there are going to be instances like that. But I think 99 times out of 100 they get it right, and they catch these people in the planning stages before they get to the streets, by following the materials through social media. So it's working so far. Occasionally you get a nutter that jumps in a car and drives onto the footpath. I think you can only do things up to a certain point. Sometimes people slip through, but it's very rare now in the UK. They're always on high alert now. And you know, I don't know if they're aware on the other side that they're on a list, and depending on your risk level, whether you're category 1, I watch 24 hours a day, or whether you're category 4, low level monitoring, but could be a potential list. And this list is evolving and moving, depending on how people decide to walk their path in life or what their belief systems may be. We're only a small country, so it's not so difficult to police.
I think it's sort of a bug of the West, though. I think the UK and America sort of have this in common, in which we label people as extreme theists when they're not necessarily extreme theists, especially the Islamic origin.
We don't. We're a bit more. How do I say? We're a little less obvious in the UK. We don't wear our politics on our sleeve, and we speak calmly in corridors rather than stick it on the front page of a newspaper. So all the good work does happen in the background, but we don't advertise it. So if we label someone a potential terrorist and living in the UK, we know about it. I.e., the system is watching them, but they don't know. Let's put it like that. And we don't want it in the newspapers, because then you've got a high chance of catching them should they want to push the button. Yes, so labelling, I don't know who we last labelled. I'm trying to think. I think it's the people themselves that may be more inclined to labelling, but that's usually the results of, historically, of dictators. So there was a famous man with a small moustache once upon a time who labelled his opposition communists. Well, I can see that happening again right now. And he didn't like the media, so he called them fake media on his rise to power. Quite a lot of similarities today is what's happening in 1930s Berlin. The moustache man was obsessed with an arch He wanted to build one 5 times the size of the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. The admin at the moment is obsessed with an arch after his own name. He was also, Moustache Man, obsessed with building the biggest indoor dining space in Berlin, a dome structure, and you have a man.
Okay, you're just comparing. Yeah.
But why is he so obsessed with power through architecture? Obviously, the Moustache Man was obsessed with it, with Albert Speer, his architect, in building these great statements in architecture to power. It's no different. He's following the playbook, word for word. Private army, ICE, SS, fake media, fake news, same. Everything's the same. He has studied the man. You can see visibly how much he studied his rise to power. We all, as Europeans, see the playbook because we have to learn that stuff so it doesn't happen again. And we're watching it day by day unfold in the US. I mean, to the point that J.D. Vance called it out and said it word for word. And now he's the vice president. I mean, it's unreal. You just can't make this stuff up. And he's got a blind cult following, exactly the same as what happened in Germany.
Well, I would argue, and I would say, I agree with everything you're saying, but I would say it's not necessarily like a bug of the US. I think it's a feature of all Western societies, with the exception of Japan. Japan's not really Western. I don't consider them, well, I guess you could kind of consider them Western, but they're also moving towards this fascistic ideology. So
Right.
I think it's not just the US. I think that there's someone obvious to point to in the US, right? Whereas maybe the UK doesn't really have an obvious strong man.
No, we don't have a strong man. We don't look at the Prime Minister as a strong man. We look at Westminster as a collective. A bit like Americans used to look at Congress as a collective for pushing policy forward. It's only because you have a dictator at the moment that the shift is taken away from the House and Congress, where 40 years ago that never happened, because all presidents previous had respect for the system, for law, and for the way things work in America. And it worked well. It's only because you've got someone at the moment who's trying to beat the system, change the system for own personal gain, that it's proving to be painful, I think, for America and for the rest of the world. But I always know that the truth will come through. Our history books always have, these people always lose in the end. And I think his demise has started, and I don't think it can be recovered.
I don't know that it's losing. I think what happens with society is it's just like, you know what a sine wave is? I don't know if you're familiar with mathematics, but I'm constantly... Oh, nice. So then you know what I'm talking about. I feel like it is constantly just shifting between one extreme to the next. And in between the wave, you know, sort of at this point of like center, we have like some moments in history where we tend to not be so extreme. But for the most part, it's just constantly shifting back and forth. I don't think that there is like the winning of good or the winning of evil. It's just in the moment.
I understand that, but the object of good politics is to make sure that the peaks and the troughs of the sine wave are not so deep or so high that you flatten the sine wave for a good society. And if the sine wave starts to if the y-axis gets bigger, you got problems. That's civil war in history.
Yeah. Do you see that for the U.S.? What do you see for the U.S.'s future?
I see.
Boring as shit.
I see. Sorry.
What do you want to talk about, Mojo? You want to talk about the nurse who unalived her 3 kids? That's depressing as hell.
I don't.
I see it coming. I see it come.
This guy's boring. I don't know.
Am I?
I'm sorry, man. You're boring. Well, we had 50 people in here when you started talking, and now we got 32.
Oh.
I think it's because, for the most part, this is American life, so people aren't really interested in what I talk about.
With you.
Yeah.
I've never been called boring before. That's a first in my whole entire 54 years.
Well, I'm glad I can
Oh,
give
come
you a
on. You're
first.
British. You've been called boring plenty of times by Americans.
No, I haven't. Never. First time.
I'm pouring coffee, y'all. I'm not peeing, I promise.
Mm. Well, please,
What do you want to talk about,
host.
Mojo?
Yeah, change the subject. Where do you want to go?
I want to go away from the UK.
You're such an asshole. I get it, though.
Well, shit, I genuinely don't let foreigners up here anyway. They got no room to fucking talk about American politics.
Yeah.
I got a couple favorites that I like I like to listen to on a panel, but for the most part, foreigners are just not worth talking to. American politics. I don't know what I want to talk about. I don't know that I have anything to talk about. I just was getting extremely bored. Maybe I should just shut down since nobody's interested in my live. Federal judge rejects Maxwell's miscarriage of justice claim and bid for prison release.
Oh, she's going to they want to release her?
Well, she was asking to be released and they rejected her.
Oh, good.
Request.
Rotten hell. Or maybe, hey, if she gives the goods up, why not let her go?
Abraham Lincoln is scheduled to dock in Thailand next week. Looks like
finally
they stop people from jumping off the ship.
Yeah, I heard about that one. 235 days on a ship is wild. I don't care how big the thing is.
Yeah. Well, either way, I'm going to restart. Whatever happened there happened, and like 60 people in here, and it was going up, and now it's down.
So I'll end there.
I'm not getting angry, but I see your point, and I agree with you, K-Town. But when you got, like I brought up earlier, I understand what you guys are saying about what y'all call systemic, but when it's your own people, like I said, or the Memphis one, Baltimore mostly run. Sorry about that. Baltimore's mostly run and headed by black leaders.
Good morning, Rabbit. Lagomorph? Is that what it is? Tennis. Boy, Anthony was being a dick, wasn't he?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
All right. I wasn't going to go live, but I was listening to Anthony earlier, and he was being a total dick, so I figured, fuck it.
You know what? He's manageable as a host because at least, I can go up there and there's op up there, and I can handle him, but yeah. What I can't stand is the whole rhetoric around DEI and affirmative action and conflating the two. And, you get a person who's a black woman comes up and starts, singing the Clarence Thomas sort of aria about DEI, and you're like, I'm sorry, but it's not just about Black women. It's about women in general. It's about other minority groups, and they just it's just bunk.
Yeah,
Bunk.
it was Red to Filth and Bayou Barbie. I know both of them, and they generally like to tell the truth and talk about things genuinely. So I don't think that they were lying at all. But boy, he wasn't having any of that shit.
Mm-mm. And you can tell by his tone, he gets louder when he gets frustrated. When you talk, this whole thing about Charlie Kirk and his comment about the black pilot,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
they just can't dance around that. And when you call them out on it, it's, oh, you're not listening to the whole clip. I'm like, what could possibly be another? How could you construe that any other way? And they try to, oh God. And the whole thing this morning was around, and I don't even follow this guy, Hassan, who made a statement about how Jews are going to have to accept the consequence. That I'm paraphrasing, but if they keep, supporting Israel, then it's going to backfire. Is basically. Did you read about that? I hadn't before.
Yeah, I heard the clip yesterday. I know that it happened a few days ago or whatever, but yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, but
Hassan is a streamer. He's probably the most popular streamer on the planet. So
yeah, and people were. I don't know. I don't follow him. I some of the things I've heard that he said, don't like it. I mean, but it's the cause célèbre that they're talking about today.
yeah, I think that's pretty normal. And he says what he says, and there's no reason for you to defend it or anybody else for that matter. But
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to defend it. But Penny Lane was up there, and she came with a bunch of people, and but I can be, and she was asking Elle, do you think Israel should exist? And Elle kind of got on the defensive a little bit about it, and then she asked me, and I said, I think Israel should exist, but I think everybody in Israel should exist equally. She thanked me for that, and I'm, because I'm not. I don't take these stands like. I don't like saying that Israel shouldn't exist. I just don't think we should be there.
well,
I know a lot of people. Go ahead.
I don't know that any country has the right to exist. I know that at the beginning, Israel was created and defended itself against 6 invading countries. I don't know if they could do the same thing today, but maybe they could without our help. I don't know, but I would say that we should stop helping them. Let them
I agree with that.
Let them deal with their own consequences of their actions, I guess.
Yeah. I think it should be either a one-state solution. I think it should be a one-state solution. I used to say two-state solution, but I think if it's within the borders of Israel, everybody should exist under the same laws and they should be equally applied, period.
I agree with that too.
Yeah, because the two-state solution essentially did exist. Maybe in like verbiage only, but essentially that's what it was, and that completely failed.
Exactly.
So, what was it that Hassan said specifically about? Was he saying Jews or Israel? Or Israelis, I mean.
He said something about, to the extent that I'm paraphrasing, I could be wrong, that American Jews who support Zionism, it's going to come back to haunt American Jews, and that is so paraphrasing. You know what? I'll just go and try to get the quote exact.
Is that what you were talking about earlier, Mojo? Because you said it was that trial and this.
Yeah. A lot of people are talking about this particular thing right now. I can't find it for some reason. I know that there's plenty of videos of it on YouTube and shit, but I can't.
Yeah, if Tennis can't find it, I'll try to find it.
I'd have to look it up. I know that he said
I
some
didn't find
controversial
it.
shit.
Sorry.
You didn't find it?
No, because the first thing that came up when I Googled it was about 9/11. His quote about 9/11. And then I started scrolling down and I didn't see it, but it was something that if this is going to come back, if to the extent that they support Israel, it could come back to bite him in the ass, something like that. And that's not the words. It could. In other words, the Zionists are seeing it as a dog whistle to incite violence against American Jews. That's what they're saying it does. I think it's way more. I think it's more benign than that. But I won't defend it. But I defend.
I think what he means. I think what he means is because I've heard many people make the statement, including Norm Finkelstein, which I think it is a valid statement, that when Netanyahu says Israel represents Jews in the world,
Okay.
that you got the statement.
Yeah. This is the El Sayed distancing himself from Hassan.
Trump 2028, motherfuckers.
Nice.
Yeah. Are you here for a political discussion or just to be a dipshit?
Hell yeah, I am.
All right. Why do you support Trump?
Because he's the best president ever.
Why?
Name one president that's gotten us out of 3 different wars, huh?
What war did we get out of?
All of them.
Which one?
War in Iran, for starters.
We're still at a war. We're still in a war with Iran, and we weren't in a war with Iran when Donald Trump took office.
That's not true. We were at war with Iran under Biden.
No, we were not.
Yeah, we were.
Okay, so you're just stupid.
How am I stupid?
Because we were not at war with Iran.
Oh, was it Iraq?
No, we were not at war with Iraq either.
We were at war with one of them.
No, we
under
were not.
Biden. Yes, huh?
No, we were not.
Yes, huh? Fact check and Google it.
I did fact check you. You're a dipshit.
Well, fact check again.
You're a fucking dipshit. You vote for Donald Trump because you're a fucking moron and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's why you vote for Donald Trump. Because he's a moron and you're
rude.
a moron.
I ain't calling you names.
Yeah, but I'm not a moron either.
You're a moron for calling me names.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Good one, buddy. Good one.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
How do these people vote? How can that guy find his front door in the morning? What the fuck? Okay, I believe all Americans deserve the right to advocate for what they believe without fear of violence. This is particularly true for... Oh, no, this is El Sayed. God damn it. This is what I see. Comments on American Jews and Israel during a Twitch stream. Piker claimed that American Jews who tie their identities supporting Israel are worsening anti-Semitism and suggested it could invite backlash or violence against them locally. A comment widely criticized as dangerous and anti-Semitic. I tried to look it up. There's a CNN article about El Sayed, and then there's Reddit.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't see a problem with that statement.
Okay,
I mean, people have made that statement before.
Okay, here it is. People don't fuck with Israel any longer, Piker said 2 hours into his nearly 7-hour stream on Thursday. If Jews in America keep putting this idea out there, they are singularly invested in Israel. Eventually someone's going to come around and take action. Not against the state of Israel, mind you, but against American Jews.
That's the statement. Yep.
I don't know how people don't recognize how dangerous this predicament is, how dangerous this is for Jews. You are running around basically tying yourself and your entire identity to a country that inevitably will be seen as Jewish ISIS. And you're saying, as Jews, this is all we care about. You are making anti-Semitism worse.
Hey,
That's not
Mojo.
bad.
What?
Pulling you over,
Coming
they're getting
for
you,
you,
lip
lip
tears.
tears. Run,
Yeah.
run, run.
Just rob a
man.
liquor store, you pull a lick or what?
No, it's a fucking ambulance. Hey, I wanted to apologize for last night, Mojo. I was a douche.
Fuck off.
But hold on. Yeah, no. I just can't panel with him anymore. I don't want to fucking get like that anymore because I'm just done with it. Yeah, I'm done with that. I'm good.
What's the tea? What did I miss?
No, he said he said shit prior to, he said some fucking nasty shit to me like under his breath, and I heard it, and then he also said something else regarding pew pew violence towards me, and I'm good. Like, I'm sorry, I'm good. I can't do that anymore. But I wanted to apologize to you, Mojo.
Oh, don't be a liberal.
We
Don't
kind
be
of
a
hijacked.
snowflake.
No, because I'm not that type of person, and I don't want to be that type of person. So
But we're all not real, lip tears. We're all not real. We're just chatbots.
it's I used to be a very angry human being, and I don't like doing that and being like that. So I don't want to.
Yeah, because you're from fucking Boston. You're not going to get rid of that.
Who was on the panel doing this?
Me and CT were arguing essentially. He was.
He? Oh, okay. He's not argumentative.
Well, we were talking about something that apparently is near and dear to his heart, and I was already angry to begin with, and I kind of came off like a dick. And then somebody said something about he was like fucking insulting me and saying shit under his breath, and I didn't like it. So I called him basically a nerd, and then he called me a nerd, and then it just kept going on. And then he brought up his daughters, which, you know, I would never bring up my daughters in the middle of an argument that I'm having with somebody. But then he said something about teaching his daughters to use pew-pews against people like me, and I took that personal, and that, to me, that's a threat. And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna fucking play that game. Like, you don't do that. I don't give a fuck if we're on the internet or not. You don't make those types of threats. Sorry.
Oh, God, you're such a liberal.
No, it's just not, it's not cool. Like, you don't do shit like that.
Bro, you should see my fucking DMs. I get DMs when I used to do lives on the daily of people threatening to rape me and my kids. Like, get the fuck over it. It's the internet.
Well, we were already in the middle of a heated discussion, so it just made things worse.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to treat you like that, it makes sense not to panel with him for at least a little while. I understand. It did get out of control. Both of you ended up getting kicked from a panel. Both of you did. So
I know, I was still listening.
Obviously, it was out of control.
Yeah, and I feel bad because there were other people on the panel just like quiet, listening to us yell at each other, which made it even worse. And I kind of felt like shit afterwards, but it is what it is.
Until I started yelling at both of you. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
What about the Supreme Court decision, or a shadow sort of decision to let this post office vote by mail thing?
I think it's wild that they would not leave the stay in place at least until after the election.
It's chaotic. It's just causes chaos. I'm not terribly concerned about it.
Yeah, I don't think he gets the voter rolls, and he's going to need to get the voter rolls in order to make any of that shit happen. And I think every state that matters is going to fight against giving up their voter rolls. So that's going to make the cases last even longer. However, the states that do comply and give voter rolls, they're not going to be allowed to have mail-in votes, and that's wild. I'm honestly a little worried about my state because my fucking governor is being wild right now. So
I thought they just had to track the actual envelopes.
What?
I thought the purpose of the SCOTUS decision was for the USPS to track, like, keep it in a database that the envelope ended up, like, essentially just
No.
Like a tracking system or something like that.
No, Trump's executive order is suggesting that only people that are qualified can get mail-in ballots. Like a state like Colorado, which has been doing mail-in ballots for all people for at least a decade, can no longer do that. We have to clarify who gets mail-in ballots, and everybody else has to vote at the polls. He's not going to allow other people to get mail-in ballots. Now, I don't know how you clarify that either. That's going to be a lengthy process, and each state would have a different way of doing that if we were to put it in place that way. But I don't think he's not supposed to have the constitutional control to do any of that shit, because states run their elections any way they see fit. So none of this should have happened, and the stay should have remained in place. But what he wanted was the voting rolls so that he can go through and decide who's disabled, who's a veteran, who absolutely needs a mail-in ballot, and then everybody else he wants to force to vote at the polls.
All right, I gotta go. I'll be back later. I gotta see the fucking dentist.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just trying to control. Because the post office is controlled by the federal government. He's trying to put in his. Sorry,
It's not though. It's not,
isn't it?
though. No, it's a private company. It's a private organization. The Postmaster General is appointed by the president, but it's something like the Fed or something like that. He is autonomous. He can do whatever he wants. He or she, Postmaster General, can do whatever they want.
Oh wow! I learned something.
And they take no federal dollars, not a penny from the federal government. They take no tax dollars at all.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not concerned in blue states. Colorado is pretty much a blue state now, right?
It is.
But you have a governor who's wackadoo?
Yeah, so Polis it was extremely liberal when he got elected as governor. He has just been doing some kind of crazy shit recently, like letting Tina Peters out, like commuting her sentence.
That's weird.
It's very strange. I don't understand why you would do that. He also, in certain circumstances, let ICE in, which is against the law in Colorado, because the legislature had set it up to where we are not helping ICE in any way, shape, or form.
Are you a sanctuary state?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Is he a Republican governor?
No, he's a Democrat, and he was extremely liberal when he got elected. I tend to think that he might be trying to run for president in 28, honestly.
Oh, wow.
That's why he's moderated himself.
It looks like the Dems are going to have to really push voters to vote at the polls anyway in any state, especially red states, period. Like, we really need to be out trying to, help people, elderly, the people who rely on mail-in voting, to get them to the polls, because it's going to have to be the people that are going to have to take control of this, because this is the whole ball game. These elections. Yeah. I mean, this is everything. This is the Holy Grail. It is.
We say that every time. This is the most important election in your lifetime. Every election we say that.
Well, it's true, and it has been true. And we've lost. But we have to win here. At the very least, we have to win the House of Representatives.
Well, then you got to give them something to want to vote for. You have to give these elderly people a reason to want to get off of the couch and take their little walker with the tennis balls at the bottom and walk to the polling stations. And help. They're going to need help.
They're going to need help. It's going to take... This could be very close. What do you think?
I don't think that the midterms are going to be close. I think we're going to win the House no matter what. The Senate could be close, but
it would be absolutely such a boon to win the Senate.
I'm telling you, my district with Lauren Boebert.
Yeah.
Before Lauren Boebert was here, it was plus 23 Republican. And then when Lauren Boebert won, she won by like a little less than 12 points. And this time, I think she's only up by 2.
Wow.
So I'm pretty sure this seat is flipping. I think Lauren Boebert's going to be out of Congress.
She's still up. She's up in a blue state. I would think that would be kind of scary in and of itself.
This is a very red district in a blue state. I just said it was plus 23. When I moved into this district, it was plus 23. Republicans.
Did you specifically move in? Well, because I know politics is a huge part of your life. Did you specifically move to that district because it was red?
No, because it's a rural community, and because it was the last place I could get a brand new home for less than $300,000.
Nice.
I think Mike Lawler of Hudson Valley or north of New York here is going to lose. We've got a good candidate against him.
Lawler. I hear the name Lawler, and I think of professional wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a total Trump sycophant.
Is he?
Yep.
Well, I think we have the Congress in the bag. I think I'm sorry. I think we have the House in the bag. I think the House is going to go Democrat. The Senate has a slim possibility, but a possibility of going Democratic as well. But I don't necessarily care if we don't get the Senate or not. I just want the investigations.
Yeah, and the right that talks about Trump being impeached, if they go spend their time and taxpayer money to impeach him again, that's just folly. I mean, there's no point. Just do the investigations and try to reverse some shit, some damage he's done.
Community, are you there?
Mojo. I'm more reaching out because I have got dual citizenship. I was born in America, but I'm over here in the UK. You can probably hear. But with Trump, I'm fairly certain he lost in terms of any sort of voter fraud, trying to prove it for any mail-in ballots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, the way you were just discussing it didn't sound like you were acknowledging that.
It doesn't really much matter.
It doesn't?
No.
Why not?
Why would it matter?
Well, because what you were just discussing. You literally were just saying that. I believe you were just talking about mail-in ballots and that you didn't want them.
I didn't say I didn't want them. Colorado is an all mail-in ballot state. We have been mailing our ballots for the last decade. All of us, everybody in the state can and does.
So, what does that have to do with anything?
What?
Yeah, why does it matter that Colorado do mail-in ballots?
Oh, we were talking about a Supreme Court ruling. So Donald Trump wrote an EO trying to get the federal government to get all voter rolls for individual states so that he can control who gets mail-in ballots and who doesn't get mail-in ballots. A lower court ruled against him and put a stay on his order, and the Supreme Court just came around day before yesterday, I think, and said that the stay is revoked and he can go ahead and move forward with this action until they review it, because they haven't had a chance to review it yet. So all they did was lift the stay.
Okay. So you're really against Trump then, is it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm
a Marxist.
What are your thoughts on the Venezuelan president that he essentially broke international law on, just basically kidnapping him and his wife? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, the United States doesn't much care about international law. I think it's a little ridiculous that we would do that. I think it would be really funny if we actually do put him on trial here and somehow he wins. I think that would be hilarious.
Yep.
I mean, I'm fairly certain that they do care, that America does care about international law.
Not really.
because they do, because there was the colonel that came out and he said something about this, and he was saying that under, I forget which section he was breaking. I think it was 52. It was I've forgotten the actual. There's a particular law that he's breaking, and yeah, I just think that he doesn't stand much of a chance in terms of gaining people's like ability to believe that. I basically view that in terms of integrity and image for the country, it's sort of like gone to the side. Like, people are not paying attention to this anymore, and it doesn't set a good precedent for the future. That's what I'm concerned about, really.
Yes, us too. But in case you haven't noticed, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck, but everybody else does. And so,
Okay. But everybody else is irrelevant right now because he's going to do what he wants to do, no matter what we say.
so you think that you can just it's better for just people to submit to one, like, 80-something-year-old.
Yeah, I didn't say that, but that is the way our system works.
The system does not work like that.
It does.
Because they're allowing him to, right? Because
The system does not allow it. It's the fact that there's a lack of like matched energy on the other side. That's the problem.
The energy
Like,
is
people
irrelevant.
are not even recognizing that
the energy is irrelevant because we don't control anything in government right now.
Oh, it does. So just think of it in this terms, right? Imagine you've got 3 different households. Somebody breaks into one of the households and everybody just hides in one room, right? Or you go into one house, the second house, and someone's just like, I don't care, I'm gonna fight until I die, right? Energy matters.
You expect people to fight until they die in the United States? No, that's not going to happen.
Well, that is literally what it's for, right? The stakes are for self-human preservation.
This is wild. Do you think we have Hitler in charge or something?
If people are breaking international law and they're going to continue, I wouldn't use
broken
the word
international law for every single country, for every single president that has existed since international law was created. Every single president.
That is a good fact, but it doesn't change the fact that people are educating themselves now and they have the ability to read.
Yeah, but again, we don't care about international law. We don't recognize the ICC. It doesn't matter if he's got a warrant out for his arrest. We just don't care. The United States has never cared about international law.
You would care if there was some sort of consequence for it. But if there's no consequence... Then...
We have the largest military on the face of the planet behind us. I'm pretty sure that there's no consequence going to happen.
Well, China and Russia, they tend to think differently.
No, they don't.
Yeah? You don't think they think differently?
No, they're not attacking the United States.
Ooh.
I don't think that they care. I think China has always been self-sustaining since the communist revolution. China has just kept to itself. It doesn't interfere in foreign relations. It just doesn't have the stomach for it. And Russia's got its own thing going on with Ukraine.
It doesn't have the stomach for it. I guess you can argue that for now. It sounds more like you're definitely on the side of Trump.
No, I'm not on the side of Trump. I'm just giving you that this is Chinese politics, right? She has 1.6 billion people to feed. He's not interested in starting a war with the best military in the entire world.
Well, until you start messing with their money.
There's no way the US can mess with their money.
Look, China have lots of deals with what I would consider as the enemy in the eyes of Trump. So people like Iran, China, Russia. I can see how their business relations definitely can somehow in the future be a problem for people like Trump.
Okay, Trump has like 2 years left in office, period.
That's what I'm talking about,
Yes,
by the way.
and unfortunately, his 2 years are numbered, and I'm very sad about that.
His
Okay,
2
so
years, there's no need in waiting for 2 years.
Yeah, there is.
You know, no, in November, in terms of Congress, in terms of seats, in terms of passing policy, all of those things could actually be affected now. And then after that, you know, if he decides to try and push forward in the same way, if people match his energy, which is what I'm saying,
I love this
then
British
it can
bloke
be a
trying
lot
to tell
more
the fucking
problematic.
Americans how to run their country.
I just now
Exactly.
said at the beginning of
Like
this
England-
conversation, you joker, that I am a
England is
citizen.
not. Hold on. England is not in a position to tell us what to do when England itself has its own problems.
Do you understand I was born in the United States? Do you understand that?
So why do you have a British accent if you were born?
I said I have dual citizenship.
So, okay, and I don't agree with that either. I don't think you should have dual citizenship when you were born in
That's
this
just
country.
too bad. I don't give a damn about what you think,
You should.
Mr. TikToker.
You
Who
should
cares
please-
what you think, man?
You should.
You
please-
jumped on here with a character to be like, I don't think that you should have that. Well, so
Yes,
what?
sir.
You
Yes,
were.
sir.
I
Please
don't
allow
think
me
that
to.
you have any place in
Yes,
saying
sir.
any of
Please-
that because
please
you only
allow
got
me.
no, I won't allow you. Actually, I don't think that you should have the ability to talk right now, Peter.
Well, I have the right of.
That was perfect. Who did that?
You don't have the ability to talk, you fucking British bloke.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
See, here's the problem with them. They like to say, "Oh, we have culture, we have this, we have that." You don't have anything.
When did they say they have culture?
Talking like a romance novel right now. Why are you whispering?
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's
Fucking
creepy.
weird.
Well, I apologize. This is just how I speak.
Oh, is that how you speak to like when you go?
When I go what? When I go what? Sorry, I couldn't hear you there. You
What's up, brethren?
Hello, good morning. How are you doing today?
All right, first of all, Peter, how old are you?
I'm 28.
You don't sound 28, but okay. Cook Talk, how old are you?
29.
Who'd you vote for?
Trump.
Trump. Well, welcome to the panel. Why do you guys still support Trump?
I support President Trump because he is not only making America great again, but he is the person outside of these political dynasties who is actually making a real change, and I appreciate that.
So
I would definitely agree to that. I support his immigration stances in
The
that.
way he talks, this is fucking annoying as shit.
I also support his cracking down on LGBT identities in the government sector. So both of those things are great reasons to support him.
Yes, and if I may piggyback off of that, the arrest.
No, you may not. Do you guys have something you want to say?
Yes, sir.
Of course.
No.
Sorry, sir. My apologies.
Do you guys have anything you want to say to these
I don't even know what the
children?
original conversation was.
All right, so Cook here likes Donald Trump because he hates trans people. And,
No, I say his
Peter
immigration
thinks,
policies
and
his
Peter
trans policies.
and Peter thinks that he's making America great again. I don't know what about this fucking economy makes you think that this country is turning great in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know what the fuck I don't know what the fuck somebody else does with their own body has anything to do with you.
I completely agree with that. If it is your body, it is your choice, and that is the one thing that I will disagree with Trump fundamentally on.
Please don't say body in that voice. It's
Everybody has a right to live as they
I can't deal with you. Can you speak like a man for a sec?
I am speaking like a man.
Are you afraid you're going to wake somebody up in your house or something?
No, I'm actually in my office. This is just how I speak. I don't get
You're
very
at work.
loud.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to be touting Trump at work. I get it.
Well, no, I'm in my office, meaning I'm in my home, so I work from home.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The way that I see it is we have division in this country, and if we come together as Americans,
No. I can't deal with your voice. I can't deal with that. That sounds so fucking weird. Holy crap. Fucking weirdos. It's so weird.
It's too early for that.
Jesus fucking Christ. I feel like dude is trying to whisper in my ear. That's so fucking gross.
Overdrive.
Cook, so immigration. How many people has Donald Trump deported?
Talking to me?
Cook?
Oh, hello.
No, he was talking to Cook Talk.
Okay. Sorry. I had my charge. When I have my charger on, right, it doesn't communicate well.
Wait, what happened to the other guy? He dropped, or you kicked him?
Yeah, kicked him.
I can't.
Because he couldn't deal with his voice.
Wow, that's awful.
Yeah, he just took him and threw him away.
That's awful. Do you guys want to talk about the immigration policies? Why you disagree with that?
Yeah, why can't we just let everybody be legal?
Just have everybody come into our country. Like
Yeah,
Spain.
because it's
Just
common
let everybody
sense.
run into the country. Just everybody pour in. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's
Awesome,
common
dude.
sense not to just let anyone come into your.
No, I'm
government.
just saying that's what you want.
Shut up, Jim.
All right,
Yeah, it's common sense
let other
not to
people
just
speak.
allow people just to come into your country. You don't really have sovereignty if you don't have any borders. Every country for all of history has always had borders. They've always had some sort of immigration policy, some sort of checks. Even the country that they're coming from, like Mexico or Sudan or Europe or Canada, they all have border control.
All right.
They don't
Has
have
that
this
anybody in the United States of America suggested that we get rid of our borders so that we just allow everybody in?
Absolutely.
Who?
People are doing that. People
Who?
are definitely saying that.
Who?
And I would say individuals.
Who?
Individuals.
No.
Yeah,
Name
people
the
are.
individual. What is their
Scroll through
first and
TikTok
last name?
Scroll through
What is their?
TikTok and
What about
people
in
are saying
government?
that.
Why don't you just give us
But
somebody
what
in
I'm
government?
saying is you effectively don't have a border if anyone can come across it. The whole point of a border is to draw a line in sand where you can't.
We have a border
where you
if
can
we
distinguish.
no, we do have a border. If I'll tell you what, if
What's
we
the
let
point of
We do
it?
have
Everyone
laws.
can come
yeah,
in.
We do have
I'll
laws.
tell you what. Listen.
No, we do
If
have
we
laws.
listen, if we let everybody in legally, everybody that exists on the face of the planet, we let them in the United States legally. We do background checks on them. We make sure that they
But we haven't,
have
though.
the ability. Hello, and we make sure they have the ability to work. We could let everybody in on the planet and still have borders.
No, we can't.
But we haven't been
Yes,
doing
we
background
can.
checks, though, dummy.
If there's no distinguishing line
Stupid.
that separates, what's the point of the border?
There
You're pretty much
is,
advocating for no borders.
There is a distinguishing line because we are doing background checks when they
We
cross
are?
that
We
fucking
are?
line.
Biden
And
did
what-
background checks.
How would you do a background check on somebody, and what would disqualify them from coming in?
How do you know their
Being a
background checks,
felon.
dude?
Being a felon. That would disqualify them. How hard is this to understand? We've done it for every single president since we cracked down on the border.
God.
Well, how about this?
You
What if
guys
you
are-
can't?
what?
What if they don't have any paperwork?
Who's this guy talking? They're not doing background checks. They didn't do it when Biden, they let 4, 5.
How would you know if someone was a felon and if they don't have paperwork, proper paperwork?
Correct.
So you think that they don't keep
Answer
paperwork
that
in their
question,
country?
buddy.
So if they don't have proper paperwork, how do you know if they're a felon or not?
Okay, if we can't find them in Interpol or we can't find them in any other database, then we know that they're using some sort of a fake name or
And then what do you think those people do?
And then we can remove them.
What do you think those people do? You think those people just wait for you to do that or let you remove them, or do you think they just come in here anyway? The purpose is we shouldn't have to remove them. They should respect our sovereignty and our laws and policies. And if they don't respect those things, then we have a right to remove them because it's ours.
All right. Is it illegal to murder people in this country?
Yeah.
Do people still murder people?
That's not my argument. My argument isn't if people do it. My argument is should we crack down on it? Yeah, we crack down on murderers. We send them to prison.
But people still murder people. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that we can reduce it down to
no matter
zero.
what system of law we set up at the border,
I'm not arguing for reducing it to zero.
No matter what system of law we set up at the border.
Why are you still arguing that?
No matter what system of law we set up at the border, people are still going to break that law no matter what. There's nothing we can do to change that. The Great Wall of China is not going to keep people out. I don't know what the fuck you think. We have our entire fucking country is one big fucking border, and we got a lot of fucking border in this country. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, we only have 2 borders.
No,
Canadian and Mexico. What else are you talking about?
We have the fucking coastlines too.
They make
listen what I'm saying.
He doesn't know.
Just because you can't reduce it to zero doesn't mean you shouldn't enforce it. I'm not arguing that you can reduce it to zero.
That's fine. I'm okay with enforcing.
So why are you against this?
Wait, hold on. I'm okay with it. Shut up. I'm okay with enforcing it. I just want to change the law the way it's set up right now, because the way it's set up right now is obviously not working. We need more judges. We need more people to deal with the people that are coming in. We need more people to do background checks on people.
You're arguing just to let everyone in.
We need to get the system. We need to get the system working faster. I didn't say let everybody in. Nobody ever fucking said that. I literally did not.
You said if we just let everyone in,
you don't understand simple English, do you?
No. You said you said we can let everyone in the world in.
You guys, stop interrupting. Can you let the host finish, please? We try not to interrupt on this panel. I understand cook talk, but it's on our end. It's very overstimulating. So please just let the host finish, and we'll not interrupt each other. It's up to him. I'm just saying on our end, the audience end, it's really hard. So please just don't interrupt and let him finish, and then he'll let you finish all that stuff, please.
Okay, yes. You guys need to stop. You need to chill. Drop your cortisol, whatever the fuck that shit is.
No, give 1 minute a piece.
Shut up! Jim, shut up. Thank you. You just let me finish the statement, then you can talk afterwards. If somebody else wants to talk, they can talk, and you just let them finish too. We can have a conversation back and forth. There's no reason to interrupt each other. I did not say to open the borders. As a matter of fact, I said I want to do background checks on everybody. Okay, now you're not going to talk at all.
Oh, no, I'm good. No, I
might not know that he's muted.
All right, no, I'm good. So I was going to ask that guy that was talking. So I'm just saying, you have a license, right? You have a license in America, like to drive the car. So if you get a speeding ticket, I'm getting to this. If you get a speeding ticket, right, and you got something in the mail that you owed $100 for a speeding ticket, well, you're going to lose your license and you're going to be thrown in jail if you get pulled over, right? Okay, I'm just saying, you'd pay that ticket, right? You're going to pay your speeding ticket. So when these people come into our country, and they know you're not giving me my minute, dude.
Do you need me for a conversation? You're asking me questions. You're asking me questions and then you're answering. Yes, because you're asking me questions and then you're answering the questions for me.
Well, then you can rebuttal. And then if a person comes into this country and they know they're over. They knew they had to go to court. They knew they had to redo their green card. They knew they had to do their visa card. And they're living in this country. So do you go and get it done? No.
You should do.
And then when they get the ICE come in and they take them out, and everybody's bitching at them, going, "I can't believe they did that to him." So don't telling me, buddy, that you got to do apples to apples.
Let them all be legal.
Why would you advocate for everyone being legal?
And I'll land my plane. Then you guys can talk.
You didn't land your plane yet?
Yeah, I am right now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm saying, why would you advocate for everyone being legal when everyone would include people that you would consider undesirable if they were U.S. citizens? Some people let them be U.S. citizens.
Did you just call immigrants undesirable?
No, I said if they were U.S. citizens, you would consider them to be undesirable. If they were white U.S. citizens and they did the same things that those
you to be
immigrants
undesirable.
No, listen to what I'm saying. If those people were white U.S. citizens and they did the same things that they're already doing in their country, you would not want them in your country. So how could you say everyone? Do you mean to say that everyone who is not a violent criminal?
Why do they have to be
He said background checks, bro. He said
Okay,
background checks. He already said this.
okay, I understand. Do you understand that people come in here without background checks?
He's saying that in his system, he would want background checks. He's not really talking about
Okay,
necessarily what's happening right now, but
no,
he's saying in his
I
ideal
understand
system,
that,
there
but
would be background checks
it's
for
useful to
everybody.
talk about what's happening right now because you're not the president and you don't get to choose the system. You are one small part of 330 million people who
What
get to choose
president
the
didn't
system.
do background checks?
So
Name
I'm
one
asking
president that
you,
didn't do
I'm
background
asking
checks.
you, I'm not talking about whether or not the president did it. I'm saying
You said we're talking
once,
about a system that
no, no,
currently
listen to what I'm
exists.
saying. You
So
disagree
now you're
with,
making up a
listen to what
system
I'm
that does not
saying. Listen
exist.
to what I'm saying. Let's link it all together. You guys disagree with ICE and immigration enforcement because of what they're doing. What they're doing is removing people under the U.S. Constitution because they qualify for expedited removal. Because if it, yes, it is. Look it up. Look it up. Expedited removal on Google, and you'll figure out that it definitely
That's
is true.
only.
I did the research prior.
That's only
No,
365 days. You dipshit.
no. They come into the country, they break the law, they are still liable. So that means that if they get expeditedly removed, they're not being their due process is not
You
violated.
don't understand what the word
They
expedited
come here
means. You don't
without
understand.
checks.
You don't
Let me
understand. You
finish.
don't
They come here
understand.
without
You don't
checks.
understand. You don't
They come here
understand. You
without
don't understand. You
identification,
still don't
or they
understand.
don't
You don't
check
fucking
in with
understand
the
what the
U.S.
fuck you're
Border
talking
Patrol.
about. Shut
They don't
up.
check in with any judge, and they don't come to their court
Holy
dates. So they
fuck, you are
overstay their
obnoxious
welcome,
bastard.
even
Oh,
if
so
they
they
are
overstay
supposed
their
to go
welcome and
through
blah,
court.
blah, 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 blah.
And then some of them just
Completely
never
right.
report
I
in the
know
first
you're going to
place.
keep going. You're just going to
I'm
fucking keep
completely
going.
Completely
correct.
right.
Yeah.
What
You're
he's
just going to
saying,
fucking
though.
keep going. Jesus Christ. He's
Yeah.
no, he's not
Completely
saying
right.
anything.
So
He's
when those
completely
people
right.
when those people get extradited, what is the issue?
There
What's
isn't
the
an issue with
issue?
those people. The issue is not with those people. The
So
issue
what are we
is with the
disagreeing
people.
on?
Let me
Shut up.
finish. Christ, man. Y'all gotta chill. You
Well,
drink too
don't
much
say
coffee this
Christ.
morning?
That's a bad
Shut
word.
up.
Okay, I
Shut the fuck up, you
apologize.
dumb motherfucker.
Buddha. Buddha, people, geez. Listen, when that's not the issue. We don't have the issue with deporting people who are criminals. I personally don't love
No,
that. I
no, no,
think,
no.
if they're criminals. Wait, let
Shut
me
Who's
up.
criminals
finish.
though?
Shut
Okay, all
up.
Let
right.
me finish.
Shut up.
I don't have an issue with it. They should do jail time, I think, here in America and then give them another chance. But that's just me. I know I'm not popular in that, and I don't understand what the American people want. So that's just my personal thing. But when we're talking about people, getting taken away, we're talking about the people who get, caught up in these large sweeps. So when you're looking for anyone who's an immigrant, you're going to take people who are here legally, which we've seen, who are going through the court process, which we've seen because ICE camps in front of courthouses, and you're going to take people who are even citizens, which is what we've seen.
Okay, let's agree mistakes happen. Do those people end up getting back into the country, or do they get released?
Yeah, they do end up getting back into the country. The issue is that it is an inconvenience. Going to jail sorry, not jail, a holding center is an inconvenience. People don't want to have to go through that in everyday life. If I'm going to work, I'm in healthcare. If I'm going to work and all of a sudden I'm getting pulled over because I've, maybe have an accent or I'm black or brown or whatever, I don't want to have to get detained because
I
no
would
one has
agree.
done their proper due diligence in understanding whether I am a criminal or not.
Let's say we both agree on that specific thing right there, right? Definitely it's an inconvenience. Definitely is not perfect. Can we agree that while the system isn't perfect, there's a reason for it to be in place?
Yeah, there is a reason for,
Okay. And it's a justified
catching people who are
reason?
criminals, obviously.
Well, even so,
Justified reason is
and criminals doesn't just include violent criminals. There's many types of criminals that technically, would justify the removal. Can I
Like what?
agree to the point
what?
that,
Like
yeah,
who?
it's,
Like
hold
who?
on. I'm going to address it in just a second. Can I agree to your point that, yeah, that's an inconvenience and that it should be fixed? Yes. Can I tell you also that I bet neither one of us, including the president, can fix it necessarily right now? I would say that as well. You know why? Because it's kind of hard to make it perfect when it's 330 plus million, 330 million citizens. We're not even including the illegal immigrants. So God knows how many people. I think that it's reasonable to say when you're dealing with that many people, there's going to be hiccups. They're never going to tell you all the stuff that goes right. They're only going to tell you the minority of the times where it goes wrong, because otherwise it's not interesting.
Okay, now
The
you're just
media is
rambling.
evil.
Now you're just rambling.
No, the media is evil on both sides,
Yeah, now you're just
the right and the left.
I need you to stop. I need you to stop.
You can answer your question. Ask your question. You to ask.
Shut up.
What's your question?
Well, I'll ask you a quick question. Do you know what the Langford bill was?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
The Murphy bill?
Huh?
Do you know the Murphy bill?
I've heard of it, but have I studied it extensively? No. Like, I'm not going to be like, I'm a lawyer and I know it word for word. I doubt you are as well. What do you?
These are two bills. Hey,
I stopped talking already. Go ahead.
Hey, shut the fuck up. These are two bills that were put forth in 2024. These bills were intended to fix the immigration system in this country. There were a whole lot of rules and regulations, changes, a lot of money being added to it, more judges added, more border patrol added, more security at the border, technologically speaking. Both of these bills had that included with them. And Donald Trump said, do not pass these bills because I want this issue to run on. And the Republicans all voted against them. So
I do remember
Democrats,
that.
shut up.
Who's paying for the attorneys?
Shut
and
the
all
fuck
the
up.
lawyers. Who's doing that? Your taxpayer?
God damn it, you guys are obnoxious.
No.
I just said I remembered it.
So, okay, good. That's awesome. So Democrats are trying to fix the problem and the Republicans are just making it worse.
No. So as I remember, baked into most bills is extra stuff. It's not just clear cut, like how you read the
There was
headlines.
nothing extra in there.
Okay, bring it up on the screen. Let's scroll through it if there's nothing extra in there.
You can go bring it up on your screen.
Okay, you're not going to do it, so I would refrain from making things.
Yeah,
like
I've
that,
already
making
read the
statements
bill.
like
He won't
that.
do it because he knows there's extra stuff in it.
People on your side never want to actually bring it up in real time because you're afraid of being proven wrong, and that's not good faith. So I would just say maybe don't make that.
I'm not going to go through a 90-page.
You don't have to go through 90 pages. Just skim through it.
Then go fucking read it yourself. Then go. Yes,
There are the facts.
I've already skimmed
Here he
through
goes.
it.
He's getting mad now.
Yep. No matter if I read it or not. No matter if I read it or not myself.
I've already skimmed through it. I already know. I've already read it all. It doesn't really matter. I understand it. You don't. None of you guys do. None of you guys understand what these bills are. So go read them yourself.
So you're trying to tell me Democrats are trying to fix it?
Yes, we were absolutely trying to fix it.
Bullshit.
So back when that happened, right? There were other things in that bill, right? So they wanted to take funding away from other departments of the government to fund that type of thing.
That is incorrect. That's incorrect.
Then where would they get the funding from?
From Congress.
Okay, no, I understand that. Yeah, there's already
Treasury?
tax money. There's tax money, right?
Now we'll just print more.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's already money out there. So what do you think that money's doing? You think it's just sitting there collecting dust? Or do you think they're using it for other stuff?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
My point is that they're obviously using that money for the Department of War, for agriculture, and all that stuff. So you would be taking money away from that. And I can agree sometimes, sure, if it makes sense, if we're saying, hey, let's restructure the education system.
No, we don't have to restructure shit. We can just
I'm just giving you a hypothetical. I'm just giving you a hypothetical.
We can just change the tax structure and add
I'm
funds.
just giving a hypothetical. Should not be
This
that
is
hard.
not a
to engage
hypothetical. There's
with
no
it.
reason to use a hypothetical. These are
Yes,
actual
there is.
bills.
You can
Go
use a
read them.
hypothetical in an
Go
argument or a
read the
conversation.
bills. Go read the
Okay.
bills. There's no.
I
Democrats
understand
just want to
that.
tax the rich.
The bills
That's all.
exist.
That's their.
Yeah,
issue.
he's not wanting to engage with anything. Like he just wants just to
you
bulldoze the conversation.
You yourself, Cook Talk, said you didn't want to do hypotheticals. When I tried to bring
when
up a
did I say that?
hypothetical, when I said that in Mojo's post-ideal world, there would be stringent background checks or background checks, you said you didn't want to talk about Mojo's world. You wanted to talk about what's happening now. So he is also following through with what you requested from the argument, and now you're going back on it. Now you don't want to talk about hypothetical. Then now you do want to talk about hypotheticals.
So let me respond to that.
So which is it? Do you or do you not?
Yeah, I did not reject
You
that
did
on the basis
absolutely.
that it was a hypothetical. Can I respond? I didn't reject that on the basis that it was a hypothetical. I rejected it because you were asking to present an ideal world. That was not posed as a hypothetical that was pertinent to the argument. That was posed as something as a ought claim. It ought to be this way, and then you'd have to substantiate that ought claim. That's not the same thing exactly
No,
as a
it was
hypothetical.
absolutely relevant to the argument. What we said was, you said, well, you just want to let everyone in. And we said no. And an ideal world, which this has happened with every president, by the way, since immigration has been cracked down on, there would be stringent background checks. And you said, well, I don't want to deal in hypotheticals. And I said, it's not a hypothetical because it's
I did
happened in
not
every
say the
president.
words,
Name
I
me
don't want
one
to deal with
president.
hypotheticals.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So you want to frame the argument the way you want to frame the argument because you're having a difficult time right now. Why don't we just have a conversation instead of trying
I don't
to
believe I'm having that
control
difficult
the
of a time,
argument?
other than you guys muting me and not wanting.
Yeah, because you were
Are
having
there
a
any
difficult time. You
big
were having
trains
it.
coming up from South America?
All of you are having a hard time letting people continue with their statements. I don't understand why. One person
I
at a
don't know what
time.
Well, I haven't
difficulty
get
I'm
to talk
having
for a
there.
while.
Now you
I've
guys
been
are
sitting here
talking
for
over
10
each
minutes
other.
listening to you fucking guys. You socialist fucking non-Americans.
I'm a Marxist. Thank you very much.
So, any trains coming up from South America with 10,000 people on them lately? Oh, there you go then.
Trains?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you didn't see it? Oh, well, walking up through fucking, well, South America coming this way? No, they're not coming this way.
Oh yeah,
Are we
let me
putting
speak
up
to
the, are
that.
we putting up the wall? Yes, we are. You know
Look,
what?
it's very
Rules are
common for
rules,
people to
buddy,
hitchhike on
and
trains
get your
up here.
shit together and be an American.
Yeah,
All right.
nobody
I'll
argued
land my
against
plane
that.
because I got to go because I can't listen to you guys anymore.
Good.
But I followed you anyways. I'll talk to you later. We'll straighten you out. Don't drink the juice and don't get the jabs.
Amen.
All I'm saying is, I think we, good person above me, Ben crashed out. I think we have common ground in a lot of places. I think it's just that the way we're framing it and the small semantics of it, we're disagreeing on because the semantics are making a big difference. When you're sitting here talking about wanting to let everyone in, I mean, everyone includes everyone. Like, who is everyone? That's a lot of people. We can't just say everyone.
You keep
And
saying
then you
that.
changed it. Hold on. Then you changed it to, okay, not everyone, some people who are violent criminals. And I said, okay, so if we can agree that, some people need to be filtered out, then that's what the immigration system's already doing. And then we said, okay, we don't like exactly how it is being done. Then I said, okay, you know what? The only thing we need to do is fix it. I can agree that with 330 million citizens and untold numbers of illegals, yeah, it gets a little muddy. They're only going to show you what's bad. So you can get riled up and have conversations like this. But if you actually look at the real numbers, it's a pretty small minority of citizens being deported unlawfully. They're not even really being deported. What's happening is they're being detained and let go. And I would even grant that maybe one or two of them has been deported unlawfully because that happens. It's a human system. Humans are not perfect.
Yeah,
So
and we said
Under
that.
Obama too.
We said that
True.
one of the ways, what Mojo said, the host said, that one of the ways to fix the system, because you're right, it can exist, but it needs to be fixed, is to put more judges to oversee and hear these cases, and make it make the pathway to citizenship easier.
Why would we want to make it easier? Like, why would we lower the standard?
Yeah, we need to raise
Nobody
the
said.
standard.
Nobody said lower the standard.
Yeah. So in the military, if you want to be infantry, should we lower the standard
Yeah,
down
but
so
nobody
elite
said.
people can
Yeah,
get
but
in?
nobody said lower the standard. I
Yeah,
don't know
you
where
are.
I
You're
fuck-
saying making it
No, we're
easier.
not.
That means lower the
Yeah,
standard.
making
You
it
just said
easier,
make it
meaning that
easier.
there.
Why would we make it
Yes,
easier?
yes, making it easier by saying that there are more judges to deal with these cases, so they can go through faster. Making
Why?
That doesn't make it
so
easier
that-
because people
Why?
It
people are
does.
going to
Why
choose
It
not?
not
does.
to.
Wait. It does. It does make it easier because it takes 1 to 2 years instead of 7 to 15 years. Yeah, making it easier.
So let's talk about the issue as is. Okay. So and I want a second to speak. They're coming from countries where their situation is not ideal. The issue isn't let more people in. I think at a certain point we need to cap off the immigration. We can't just let everyone in. Like,
Yeah,
my
why not?
God, we're not gonna
Why
have a
not?
place to go.
Why not?
We're not gonna have
Why
a place to
can't?
go. If you go to Mexico, they wouldn't be like, yeah, everyone from America come here.
Okay, this isn't.
They're
This
gonna be
isn't
like,
Mexico. This isn't Mexico. Why do we have to?
I
cap
understand that, but we're all humans. We all kind of think the same for very obvious reasons.
We
So
don't.
the reason is because we're not going to have a place to go. It's going to destroy the American culture, and there's going to be other things we have to contend with. Like, if you let people in here from, like, for say the Muslim culture,
Like
not that
Dearborn,
Muslims are bad
Michigan.
inherently. Yeah, they're not
So
bad
you're
inherently,
so
but they're going to have
so you're a bigot.
clashes.
So you're
No,
a
they're going
bigot.
to have clashes. They're going to want
Yeah, so
certain
you're
things
so
as
you're a bigot.
citizens
So you're a
that most
bigot.
citizens don't want.
Yeah, so
How
you're
does
a
that make
bigot
me
then.
bigoted to say the obvious?
Because we have millions of Muslims that already live in this country that
I
have
understand, and those
that
people
are
can assimilate, and they can be,
What is it? Wait, hold on. What is American culture?
huh?
What
American
is
culture. I
American?
mean, it's comprised of a lot of things: the right to bear
What?
arms, freedom of speech, all those
No,
things.
those are just amendments to the
Yeah, but that's
Constitution.
part of the
But that's
American
also
culture.
American culture.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they get a gun and they tell you that you're fucking stupid, do they get to be Americans?
What? No, it's not.
Freedom
That's
of
not the
speech,
totality.
freedom of
That
speech
doesn't
and
make.
guns. Freedom of speech and guns. You
Okay,
said
if
that's
I
our
cover my
culture.
wife's face,
So
does
if
that
they
make
come
me a
in with
Muslim?
freedom of speech and guns, you said that's American.
No,
So
no,
if they
no. I
buy
said those are things that are
freedom of
American
speech,
culture.
freedom of speech and guns.
But you're misrepresenting the
Wait,
argument.
shut the fuck up. God
You're
damn
misrepresenting.
it. Stop fucking interrupting me. Stop. Just fucking stop. Freedom of speech and guns is what you said American culture is. So if they
No,
buy a gun, and tell you to shut the fuck up, are they American?
You said, what is American culture? I named two aspects of American culture. I would pose the question, if I cover my wife's face, does that make me a Muslim? The obvious answer is absolutely not. So what
No,
makes you an American?
It could mean that you're a Christian.
No.
Or marry a 9-year-old.
Yeah, Christians don't do things like that. It's not typical of Christianity. So what I'm saying is,
have you ever seen a nun?
No. I understand that. I said it's not typical of Christians. So what I'm saying is a cultural
Have you
thing.
ever
I'm not
seen a
talking
nun?
about. I understand that. I'm talking about cultural.
How is it not typical of Christians?
Because that's one denomination of Christianity, just like Muslims have Sunni and Shia Muslims. So it's a denomination.
There are nuns that exist in every fucking denomination. What are you talking about?
Oh my God. Listen to what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
First of all, no, Episcopalians don't have nuns. So yeah, it's not the case that every denomination has nuns. What I'm trying to say is those things, to answer your question, are part of American culture. Well, my point is when people come here as citizens, they're going to have equal representation and equal voice and equal chances to speak. They want to change things to where they like it. What they want is they want all the ideal parts of our system with the things from their system that make them comfortable. And that's something that, most people don't want to compromise. And so that's something we have to look at. That's going to cause
That's American
problems.
culture right there. Listen, you've been
That's
talking
going to
a
cause
lot.
problems. Let me just land my plane. Let me just land my plane.
Christ on a cracker, dude. Okay, go ahead, do it.
No,
Just land my plane.
No, B, go ahead.
Land my plane.
You've been talking for a while. I'm sure you'll get another chance. There's only 6 people up here. But that is a part of American culture right there, is, coming from a different country, taking the beautiful things about America, like freedom of speech, and for you, owning guns, having protections by the law so that you can
And
have
women
speedy
can't go out
trials.
as unescorted by
Let me
men.
finish.
Shut the fuck
Let me
up.
Well, you
finish.
just interrupted me. Can I answer?
And so that is, I didn't finish, but that is a part of American culture, is taking your ideology from your country and coming into this country and being a melting pot. This country was founded by people from England, by people from Germany. There were natives here already. Africans brought their culture, even though they were enslaved, they still brought their culture. This country from the very beginnings, culture has been that it is a mixed culture.
Okay, would you agree to me selling children off as wives?
They do that with Warren Jeffs.
No, I'm asking you a
dude.
question.
Like,
It's not
Americans
even
do
based on
that too. That's
hypothetical.
not a feature
I'm
of
asking you, do you agree
Islam.
with it? I didn't ask you to gish gallop around it. I'm asking you a direct question. Would you agree to it?
Do Muslims in the U.S.
Obviously
do that?
not.
I'm asking. Okay, so if you obviously not,
Do
then we can
Muslims-
agree
do
that
Muslims
we don't
in the
want
US
all.
do
Hold
Muslims-
on, we
do
don't.
Muslims-
Try Dearborn,
Do
Michigan.
Muslims,
Look it up.
do Muslims,
Wait a
do
second.
Muslims-
Wait a second.
Shut the fuck up.
Wait a second.
Do Muslims in the U.S. do that?
Look up
I
Dearborn,
didn't-
Michigan.
Talking about. I'm saying
So obnoxious. You gotta
want
stop, man.
every
You gotta stop.
culture.
You gotta stop. You gotta be like an adult. Have adult
Trying.
conversations. Okay, well, don't ask a question in the middle of your fucking statement.
Then
and
stop
I
telling
won't have to
people to
answer
shut
it.
the fuck up then. You be an adult.
Yeah, you're the one being a child. I'm literally trying to respond. You can agree it's common sense that we don't want every part of every other culture here because we obviously vehemently disagree with some parts of the culture. Yes, we can
I
have.
disagree with that too.
I understand. Yeah.
No.
So we can have the more ideal parts of people's culture, but there has to be a little bit of a line. We have to sit here and filter some of it out. So what I'm
100%.
saying is, right. So if you have just massive immigration, God knows who from God knows where, 100% of the time, every day, then that's going to cause an issue. It does have to be limited. I'm not disagreeing with immigration. I'm saying let's have limited immigration where it makes a little sense. That's all I'm saying.
We're a melting pot. What,
Legal
what
melting
don't you
pot. That's
understand
fine.
about that? What don't you
Okay, but does that
understand that?
mean we have
Wait,
to?
let me finish my
So you're
statement.
Does
gonna
that
be
mean we have
okay
to
when you
embrace
have
all
to
the parts of
May,
every
may
culture?
I?
cover up your face?
What did you say? Wait.
Are you gonna be okay, in 10 years from now when all the women have to cover up their face
Okay,
in this
may I?
in this
Can I
country?
respond to that? Okay, I'm wondering if I can go. Mojo, may I? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mother, may I? Okay, here's the thing. Do we have something called freedom of religion in this country? Yes or no to either one of you?
Wait, don't ask that question.
Okay, whatever. Okay,
Just say we
so
do.
we do. We have freedom of religion. We can be whoever we want to be without, as long as we're not violent towards others. Right? So why are you concerned about Muslim culture and Muslim religion?
Are you asking me?
Sure.
So, did you hear what I said when I said not all parts of every culture are ideal and that we might want the more ideal parts, but not all of the parts?
I heard that. And
Yeah,
that's not for you to decide.
Yeah, it is. I'm a citizen. I have a say. It is for me to
No,
decide.
you don't have a say on how.
I do.
Just a moment. You don't have a say on what part of someone's religion you don't like and you don't want them to practice
I
in this
absolutely
country.
do as an American citizen.
Under
I
what
absolutely
law?
do.
Under what law?
The law that gives me the right to vote and have free speech and decide things and elect people that represent my ideas.
Okay, you do have the right to vote.
Yeah,
right?
and I can vote.
But you
against
don't
those
have the
things.
right to tell or to dictate in any way the religion
What do you think
or
voting
culture.
does?
I'm sorry, you don't have the right, or you have the right to vote for whoever you want to vote.
But what do you think voting
Okay,
does?
shut up.
effectively?
Shut up. Let her finish your fucking statement.
You don't. You
voting-
have the
Shut
right.
up. Shut the fuck up.
I
God
agree
damn,
with
you are
you.
obnoxious.
I agree with you that you have the right to vote. We all have the right to vote. But you do not have the right to dictate in any way, shape, or form what culture or religion someone else in this country practices.
That's not what I'm saying. You're misrepresenting what I'm saying. I never said that you can't practice your own religion. I'm saying that I have a right to vote, which effectively would be voting against changing the entire structure and culture of the country. I absolutely have a right. And what everyone does, even you. And I can say I don't want it. If the majority says we don't want it and we elect people that represent the majority opinions and we say no, then that's what happens. That's not even part of all the cultures in all the world. So if we want to say you can practice your own religion at home, but we don't want you to come here and turn vast swaths of the country into your country that you left because it wasn't ideal, then that's
Exactly.
completely logical.
Exactly.
I don't disagree that you have the right to vote, and if the person you vote for prevails, then that's what the majority in that district said. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
But however, you still don't have the right to control or dictate in any way, shape,
I never
or form.
said that.
Okay.
Never
that's
advocated
fine.
for it.
Shut
That's fine.
up.
But what are you disagreeing with? I
Stop
never said that.
interrupting. Just fucking stop interrupting.
Hey,
I
calm
need you to
down,
stop
host.
interrupting.
They're just having a conversation. Relax.
You can fuck off. You can still fuck off. I need you guys both to calm down and just have conversations. Stop interrupting all the time.
While I apologize, it's extremely
Tennis has
frustrating.
been up here for like an hour and hasn't.
argument.
Hold on, Cook Talk. Tennis has been up here for an hour and hasn't said anything. So she should have a little bit more time to respond.
That's fair, but you're misrepresenting my argument. I don't mind listening to you, but you're misrepresenting what I'm saying.
Okay.
It seems purposely.
You are going to listen to her, or I'm going to boot you from the panel. If you do
I'm
not
willing.
if you do not stop interrupting, I will just send you another panel. You can go interrupt somebody else.
Okay, so if you agree with me that you don't have the right to dictate an individual or a group, a religious group, a cultural group, a racial group, whatever it is, whatever group it is, if you agree with me that you don't have the right to dictate what they practice, right, then we agree. You don't have the right. You can vote for whoever you want to. Okay, but what I hear from you is that you object to their practices and their religion, and you can object to it, but you cannot control it.
Okay, so you're not hearing what I'm actually saying. We've already agreed on that. Let's move on. What I'm
Exactly. He's
saying
not
is
listening to what you said.
absolutely not. What I'm saying effectively is that I don't want your practices that you should do in the privacy of your own home to dictate the country.
Yeah, well, that's not for you to say because
Yes, it is.
people are going to do what they want to do, and short of
I'm not saying that, ma'am. That's what's so frustrating. That's so
up.
frustrating of you.
Okay, here.
You're not listening.
Okay, you can just go away.
Uh,
I'm so sick and tired of yelling at that dude to shut up. It's so fucking obnoxious.
You tried, man. You tried. Also, I reject that that's happening. Dearborn, Michigan is, you're right, a very large Muslim community, and they're not passing laws or even trying to pass laws that women have to cover up, or you can marry whatever they said 9-year-olds. That's not even happening. So the whole premise is flawed and ridiculous, honestly.
Oh, it's a big boogeyman. Ever since the any Muslims have won their primaries, right? Especially El Sayed. It's a big boogeyman. Sharia law is taking over and blah, 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 blah.
But tennis, if they're doing it in their country, why would they not do it here?
You have one more chance. If you cannot allow somebody to finish their statement and you interrupt somebody else, I'm just going to fucking block your ass.
What if they interrupt me?
what is the percentage of Muslim Americans?
That's irrelevant.
No, I could ask the question, and if somebody wants to answer it, it's fine. Whether you think it's relevant or not is beside the point. If anybody knows, I'd love to know.
There are about 4.5 million Muslims living in the United States, making up roughly 1.3 to 1.4% of the total U.S. population.
Thank you, Mojo. And so my next question is, what evidence, you seem to object to Muslim and their religion. Am I correct? Guy down there in the corner, I can't see. Cook, you object to their practices, do you? I'll take that as a yes. And so I'm just wondering what this big threat is and that their religion is taking over our country.
And again, Cook, I'll say in response to that Tennis is absolutely right in that it's not happening. There is no one in Dearborn, Michigan, which is the largest Muslim population in terms of per capita in one city, that has tried to even pass laws about being able to marry 9-year-olds or has even tried to pass Sharia laws. No one's done that. So again, most of these people are, if they're coming here from like Iran, for example, and they're Persian, they're escaping extreme, like Islam, Islamists that were running their countries. They don't have a desire to come recreate something that they're trying to escape.
Why should we allow someone who has been in a country that has very backwards laws to come here and then practice that? You're bringing,
because it's a part of our law.
You're bringing people that are not compatible with Western civilization, and then you're bringing them into our country. Why? They come from a country where everything is torn apart, like civil wars, like vast child marriage, problems with anything you can think of, and you want to take them and bring them here. Those people are going to have issues themselves. That's
Elliot,
it.
I brought this up and they intentionally misrepresented what I was saying.
I understand what you were saying, big dog. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. They thought that I was saying that I'm trying to tell them they can't practice their own religion in their own homes.
No, but that's why we're up here talking, is we're saying that we, not that we have the right to outright ban it. None of us are a president or anything of the sort.
Right.
But we have the choice to say, as voters, to talk about this, and that's what we're doing. Why should we allow people who have come from war-torn countries and then bring them over here? Why should we do that? Those people are going to have issues. It should be about Americans first. That's it.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
you
Thinking
object to
about
them coming over, is what you're saying.
No, we're
yes.
saying a limited and thoughtful
I mean,
immigration system.
yeah. How about this? So the thing that has made America amazing over, that has, brought us like so far ahead technologically is the fact that we have taken from many other countries the best of the best. We've taken a lot of people from India, China, Japan.
Germany.
Germany. After World War II, especially, we've taken the best of the best and used
We've taken the
them.
best of Germany after World War II.
Yeah, best
The
scientists. They
smartest
helped us
people,
create the
yeah, we
atom
sure
bomb.
did.
Oh, you
Yeah,
guys
why
are
do you
nut
think?
socks. Okay, this
No,
makes a
that's
lot
not
more
what we're
sense
saying. So
now.
you can't
Nazi punks, fuck
you're
off.
misrepresenting. You're misrepresenting.
You can disagree with their political ideologies. I sure do, but they were some of the brightest. Like they had some of the brightest scientists. That's why they were ahead technologically, and we took their scientists and we landed
Okay.
on
Yeah,
the
you're nut
moon and
socks.
made
Yeah, this
rockets.
conversation ends for me. You guys can talk to
We
them.
made
Yeah, nut
rocketry
socks.
with
Thank
their
you. Bye.
technology.
You can't even handle someone saying that the enemy had smart people that we now used against them to win against them.
I just don't deal with Nazis.
No, it's not being a Nazi.
I don't agree with a single ideology of theirs, but we took their scientists.
You just agreed
after
with
the war.
one. You just agreed
No, I
with one
didn't.
ideology.
What ideology
You
did
did.
I
They're
agree with?
scientists. Their scientists
Tell
are
me.
the best scientists.
That's not an
And
ideology.
did you
That's
know
not
what
an
those
ideology.
scientists?
That's
Yeah, let me
not an
finish.
ideology.
Let me finish. Do you know why they were,
You
quote unquote, the
interrupted
best
me.
scientists?
Yeah, you
Because
interrupted
they
him.
did. You asked me a question, so I'm going to
No, he
interrupt to
didn't.
answer that question. He did. You said, "What ideology did I agree with? How are the scientists an ideology?" And I'm about to explain it to you. So you did ask me. You actually asked me two questions. Their ideology was that they can do human experiments on whoever the fuck they wanted. That
Did
we're
they come
not
here and do
of the
that?
area. Let me finish. That we're not of the Aryan race. So that is an ideology in and of itself. So if you're going to support scientists from the Nazi regime, you are supporting an ideology that views other humans as inherently inhumane.
Yeah, I can't
Christ.
deal with it.
Wow.
That was wild.
No, they talk
Germans
out of both. They talk out of both sides of their mouths. I mean, that's just bullshit. I was gonna ask them about other religions in the country and the Mormon religion, and he's talking about child, all these kinds of practices that other religions practice, and suddenly Muslims are the big boogeyman. Okay.
Yeah, but Germans are cool.
When you guys went over the population
Yep.
size, it's a similar thing to the trans community, undocumented immigrants. Like, right, they're all less than 2% of the population. And it's like, why are you so worried about 2% of the population? The 2% or the 1% of the population you should be worried about are the ones that are making your life day to day harder. Muslims aren't making your rent increase. Muslims aren't making groceries more expensive, right? And it just goes to show you how little they know about their scripture. Because if they were to look in the Bible and the contradictions of the Bible, they'd feel differently.
Yes, all Republicans
Hold on.
are dumb.
Shut up. Hold on one second. America, are you there? America. Can I get your age and who you voted for?
71 Vermont and Harris.
OG, age and who you voted for?
32, and I voted for Trump.
Okay. And Elliot, you can stand the panel. I don't know that B will talk to you now, but you can't interrupt people, man. You guys are so fucking
I understand that. I was just interrupted as well. I mean, I have like a good argument. I don't care if B responds. A lot of the scientists we took from Germany were people of the Jewish population that were either expelled from Germany halfway through the war, or they were forced to do research for Germany. That's a lot of the scientists we took. That's the reason we got so far ahead in the nuclear race, was because Germany was expelling these very smart Jewish scientists. But no, if I support these scientists that the America took, then suddenly I'm a national socialist. What? These guys were Jewish. They were expelled by Germany.
I don't think that any of this is relevant to the current conversation.
No,
because
it
we were
was
talking
because.
Shut up!
Okay.
Jesus fucking Christ! Let me finish my goddamn statement. I don't think this is relevant to the immigration discussion. I'm going to fucking boot you again. We were talking about American culture, and I don't know why you would care about bringing people in from other countries. Okay, let me ask this then. Are you saying that we only bring intelligent people no matter what their ideology is?
I'm saying that we should, on that though, that's the reason that America has been so far ahead in technology, is that we
But
did
you're not
bring the
answering
best
my
of it.
question.
Yes, we should only bring, if people want to be whatever ideology they want to, we should, but that's the reason, they can do whatever they want. But the reason that America has been so far ahead technologically is because
Okay, I don't
of the
care.
fact.
I don't care. I don't care.
No, that's
Are
what
you
made
saying?
that's
Oh
what
wait,
makes
I don't
America's
care. I
good.
don't fucking care. Are you saying that we
Okay.
need to do? Are you saying that we need to do IQ tests added into our immigration policy?
No. If people do high level research in their country and they want to come to the US, that's fine. That's what's made America good. But you can't bring people that are uneducated, okay, that have been in active war zones, that have issues themselves to the US and not expect problems. I mean, why would I want someone that's been in a war-torn country for years? Why would I want that in my
Because
country?
we are a giving nation, because we are a free nation. We are a beacon on the hill, because we've always accepted anybody and everybody, because this country was built and founded on that fucking idea. Not bringing the richest, not bringing the brightest, not bringing the best, but bringing everybody in and giving them refuge.
That giving country
why the
is
United
now
States was
40.
built.
Okay, that giving country is now $40 trillion in debt, and we have several issues. So we can't be just giving when we can't support ourselves at this point. So
We're not in debt.
Immigrants.
We're not in debt. We're in $40 trillion plus of
wait,
debt.
hold on. Immigrants are a net benefit to the economy. I don't know what you're talking about.
I just wanted to add that immigration isn't the reason that we're $40 trillion in debt. Ironically, the things that you were pointing out, that we don't want people from war-torn countries. You know that there's doctors and those smart people that you are desiring in war-torn countries, right? And we've always had an immigration policy where we allow engineers and people that are educated over here. In fact, it would behoove us to ensure that we have a certification translation process, right? So if you're an engineer or doctor in one country and you want to become an engineer or doctor here, maybe a school, 1-year school certification, that's what we should be doing. But we don't have any of that legislation right now.
I'm fine with
Right?
that.
Like,
I support you. I'm fine with that's what I'm saying for. I'm fine with taking engineers, scientists, doctors from foreign countries. That's what we've done
I hear
forever.
you.
I'm
I hear
fine
you,
with
but
that. But we
here's
should
the
not
issue.
take uneducated people. Look at the
No one's
Somalian
taking.
population.
No one's taking. They're either refugees or in its asylum process.
Well,
If you don't
care
like
for
our
either
asylum,
way.
stop. If you don't like our asylum process or our policy, then it's Congress that needs to change it. They haven't. None of the parties have wanted to touch our asylum our asylum policy right now. So if you, as an American, write your fucking congressman and be like, change our asylum policies. But until that happens, you can't fucking bitch and moan.
No, I can still talk about it. That's why we're up here. I'm not a MAGA conservative. Okay,
Can't the argument be made that we voted for a reduction in immigration by electing Trump?
Yeah, so voting for a reduction in immigration is like a halfway start of it, but I'm for immigration that's what H-1B visas are. And now they were restricted, and that's fine, but because they were getting abused, but H-1B visas was a great idea. Hey, let's take these engineers, doctors, scientists, let's bring them to our country to help us. I do not want their average citizens. I don't want them. I don't want them in our countries. They have look at the Somalian population. Okay, let's just take. I know we can talk about a ton of other countries. Let's take one. Over 50% of the country's inbred. Why would I want an average citizen from that country? I am 100% certain that there are very intelligent doctors and scientists and engineers in that country. I am absolutely sure there are.
Disgusting statement. Inbred.
How?
That is wild.
Don't even think that's true.
I'm sure.
That's not true.
Look it up. Over half of their country has
Shut
first
up.
cousin
Don't say
marriage.
that shit again. Do not
First
say that
cousin
shit.
marriage is
Do not say
incredibly
that shit
common in
again.
that country.
Stop it. Stop talking.
I mean, are you
fucking
just going to deny?
disgusting.
Are you just going to deny facts?
You fucking
You can look
disgusting
it
piece of
up.
shit.
You can look it up.
You disgusting inbred piece of shit.
Look it up and tell me I'm wrong. Then it's
You are
40
an
to
inbred.
50% of
You
their
are an
entire
inbred.
country.
You should be removed from the country for being inbred.
Is this I gotta ask, are we not allowed to make fun of other countries? Like, just
Yeah,
because India
what?
has
So, no, and
nukes.
I'm not even making fun of them. I think that's a bad thing, and it shouldn't happen. I feel for those poor people in the country
Okay,
where that
just boot him.
culture,
Just boot him.
that culture has supported that over a long period of time, and that's not.
I mean, I would say American culture supported that for a long period of time, but go off. I don't know what you're getting with that. Everything that you guys point to that another country does, America is either actively doing it, like child marriage, or has a vivacious history of having done it that only recently got outlawed. So look at, I think the Bible says pick the log out of your own eye before you try to get the splinter out of somebody else's.
Can we make it a moral agreement that unless you've been to church in the last 60 days, let's not quote the Bible?
No, I'm going to quote the Bible all I want. I used to go to church all the time. I'll do whatever the fuck I want.
Okay. Well, I've watched Mojo's lives before, and I've seen you up here before, so I just wanted to make sure we can maybe have some balance here.
Well, we don't have balance right now because your kindred spirits are all fucking disgusting human beings and can't.
Yeah, he's a little too racist, and he talks over you.
I don't generally quote the Bible. I don't remember the Bible. I am a confirmed Methodist, but I am also an atheist. I don't really like having religious conversations. People are allowed to practice whatever they want. I don't think religion should exist at all, in all honesty.
I just don't like people quoting the Bible. Like, if you think you want less brown people here, say it with your chest. Don't use a Bible verse to dance around it. Be upfront with what you want.
Yeah, I think that I quote the Bible because I grew up with it for so long. And it's not really a religious argument at all. It's just that I grew up with it for so long. I know it like the back of my hand. And I'm sure you know it like the back of your hand as well. So I think it's a way to understand people.
Are you a Trump voter?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still support him?
No. That's kind of where me and Elliot probably differ. Like, I think the war was a bad thing.
Yeah.
His approval rating, I heard, is negative in every state right now that has a race. So he's not.
How many times did you vote for him? I'm sorry.
Oh, 3. I wore a mask in 2020 to go vote for him. I mean, he lost, but that's the other thing too. Like, I'm not an election denier either.
Okay, so you're a conservative. What makes you a conservative?
I still believe that, state values matter. I think your local elections should matter more than federal elections.
They're very important. Your district congressman is so.
But here, I'll finish my point though, so B can talk.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish.
Oh, I was just saying that, I think local government and a local focus is, a big value for the American life that people, underlyingly want. I don't think it's religion. I don't think it's any of these things that you hear these right-wingers talk about. It's the idea that, your neighbor and you are both involved locally in what your community is being built as. I think, I hate to say it, but most people my age don't, care to have that community-esque structure, Everybody wants a community until a fellow parent corrects your child for making a mess in the playground. You know what I mean? Like, I really believe in local community efforts being a bigger deal. And, that's why I vote conservative. On top of some other, nuanced things that, don't necessarily equate to policy.
I don't necessarily disagree. However, This is TikTok, and we are talking to people from all over the country. There's no reason for us to talk about what's going on in your local community, so we talk about national politics. Because whatever's going on in your community, you're going to deal with, and I have no control over, so I don't really care one way or another. Yeah?
Oh, absolutely. But I think if I think a lot of people who do these TikTok lives struggle to admit that the average voter isn't going to be like you and read, and vote, pick their president based on 9 or 10 different things. Like I know some people who didn't vote for Madam Harris, not because she wasn't a good candidate, but because she didn't go on Joe Rogan. Now, was that a million people? No. But was that some people? Yes. Not everybody votes, as educated and as thoughtful as we want to believe.
God, they're persistent. Elliot and TikTok are back in the request again.
Yeah, let them up.
Rebel Civics. Well, I don't know. Do you guys want to talk to him?
I don't mind.
Yeah, I do.
Here's one thing that I wanted to say about American culture is that somebody had mentioned that it is very multicultural to begin with from our roots, but even outside of cultures, like there's regional cultures. New Yorkers Northeast is very different than the South or California or the Pacific Northwest, right? Like we have these pockets of different fucking cultures. And to say that people need to assimilate it, it's just like, all right, so what if one half of a Muslim family lands in New York and the other half lands in Texas? Like they're gonna have fucking different culture upbringings, right? Like the whole point is that we A, are a melting pot, and B, like no one is trying to pass Sharia law. Like this fear mongering is insane. What you should be afraid of are the religious right that are trying to actually pass some of these laws. They have policy already written, waiting to be voted on. That's what you should be worried about.
Do you know what melting pot means?
Yeah, it's like, s'mores. The fuck? Of course I know what melting pot means.
A melting pot means that even though we all come from different backgrounds and cultures, we still assimilate under the identity of America while still embracing the parts of other cultures that make us better. That's what a melting pot is. Not necessarily everyone does their own thing.
So let's talk about assimilating. Like assimilating may look different to me than it is to you. Like personally, for me, if somebody wants to wear a hijab, but he's wearing an NFL jersey and eating a hot dog, I'll count that as a win. You may not count that as a win. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's not what melting pot is. Oh, sorry, I want to interrupt. You keep going.
No, that's fine. That's fine if you want to wear a hijab or if you want to wear a Halloween mask. I mean, whatever. As long as it's not obscene and offending people unnecessarily, as long as you're not harming children, and as long as you're not infringing upon other people's
But what
rights,
is assimilation to
fine.
you? Because to me, someone could wear their hijab, blow stuff up on the 4th of July, and eat a burnt hot dog, and I'd consider them an American. They thought with the American lifestyle.
Here's the thing, melting pot. The origin of melting pot comes from the guy saying that people of all nations are melted into one race of man. Right. That's what melting pot is. Melted into that. No, that's exactly the origin of melting pot.
One race of man.
It's not.
That's
We're not saying white.
Origin
We're
of
saying
melting pot.
Like
that's the original French writer wrote that says that America is a melting pot. Yeah, that's where the term melting pot comes from, big dog. That's where it came from.
That is not where it fucking comes from.
1782, the original writer that talks about a melting pot of man talks about people from all nations, all right, will be melted together to become one race of man. That's his exact words. That's his exact words. Tell me it isn't. Tell me it isn't. That's exactly what he wrote.
That's what he's doing. That's what they're doing, telling you it isn't. Stop.
Was popularized as a metaphor for American cultural assimilation by British writer Israel Zangwill in 1908 play The Melting Pot.
The original concept of it. Look up the original concept of someone talking about melting pot. I'm not talking about when it was popularized. I'm talking about the actual concept of the melting pot.
Wait, Elliot is talking about Jean.
If you are talking
Crevaseur, something.
If you are talking about Jean de Crevecoeur, whatever the fuck you want to call him, in regards to a new race of man, he is not talking about an individual fucking race.
I never once said race like individual race of man. I said they just like a new race of man.
I need you guys to stop fucking talking over each other. Why the fuck can't you be adults?
We're saying the same thing, agreeing with each other.
Well, stop doing that.
Oh, we can't agree with each other.
You
against
can
the
agree,
other
just
two
don't
people in
fucking
here?
talk over each other.
You understand? There's delay on TikTok, my guy.
Then wait until nobody's fucking talking to say something. Jesus Christ. It's so fucking obnoxious when 3 people are speaking at the exact same time.
Well, I wanted to address a person asking me, what is a melting pot to you? I mean, we agree on that. You know, you can do all those things and still be American. But what I'm saying is, like, you still, at the end of the day, if we go to war with another country, I find it to be un-American and not part of the melting pot if you say, I still side with Sudan, even though I'm from America, just because my parents are Sudanese. Yeah, you're American now. You got to side with America. You join the United States military, you're fighting for the United States.
May
So
I
Cook
go?
Talk. Yeah, tennis go.
Mother of God. I mean, this is, people can say whatever they want in this country. For you, even if we're
I'm
at
not
war
talking
with
about
somebody.
saying stuff.
Oh, here
Shut
you go.
up!
Jeez,
What is wrong
are
with
you a toddler? I mean, the rules have been, do you understand rules? The rules in this live are just not to overtalk people. So if we're at war with a country and my neighbor says, hey, you know, I don't agree with this and I think the other side should win, they have a right to say that. That's the reason that we are America, because we are free to say whatever the fuck we want to, short of being violent, right?
Right.
But
And I'm
you
not
want
disagreeing with that.
everybody to assimilate to be this American race, right? And that this nationalist idea, I don't know what the fuck it is. But you have to understand something. If you want to be American and you want to support America, you got to look at the Bill of Rights. We have freedom of speech. We have freedom of religion. We can be whoever the fuck we want to be.
Your biggest issue, Tennis, is that you're either stupid or you're disingenuous. And I don't want to say that you're
You
stupid.
are a fucking moron.
I think that you're
a fucking moron. You can't even figure out how to have fucking conversation.
I think you're
What the fuck is wrong with
intentionally
you?
misrepresenting
I
what
think
an
you are
argument is.
intentionally being a
You're
ditch.
disingenuous. So
I
if we're going to
think,
go off with your logic,
I'm responding to Tennis, and I thought we can't overtalk each other. What I'm
Not that you're
saying
being
is that essentially you are misrepresenting the argument, because if you come to the United States in World War II, there were Italian Americans that went to Italy and fought for the Axis powers against us, which would mean that they fought for the Nazis, which was definitely something that the person above me disagreed with. So that person is doing the exact same thing, but just in a past context. Now, if someone does that in a current day context, you're telling me now that you agree with it just because technically you like the other side now? Well, there are
Give
people
me
in
an
America who
example.
You're
sympathize with
misrepresenting her
Germany
now.
back then. That doesn't
Hey,
make
Cook,
it
can I
good.
ask you a question?
You have, hold on,
Can I
I'm just
respond,
landing my
Mojo?
plane.
Hey,
You absolutely have the right to say whatever you want. But the fact that you are having these ideologies that just vehemently disagree with being American means that you're probably going to present a problem. So if I say, because you agree with my
Okay,
right
you
to say
hate-
whatever I want, if I say I disagree with it and bring up a logical argument against it and say, hey, at the end of the day, it's going past what we're saying. It's more like what's likely to happen. If we find it's likely that people are going to defect to
Holy
the other
shit.
side,
Land the
Dude,
plane.
they're not really
you're
American. I
taking
feel like
too
we have a
long.
right to speak against that, and we should stop that type of thing.
So here's my thing, okay? Do
You
you
didn't
think
listen to a word I said,
January?
did you?
Yeah, I did. The problem is I disagree with you. Do you think January 6th was against Americans?
I don't agree with that. I think that
Okay,
those
so with
individuals
that being
shouldn't
said,
have done
so
that.
hold on. Let me make my point. Okay, so since you agree with me, that wasn't very American. Why is it so hard to believe that there are people out here who think Trump's a bad president, want him to look dumb, and hope we lose the war? Why is that like a crazy concept?
Because you're hoping for Americans to die.
No,
Absolutely.
no.
Yeah.
There's a difference between
Losing
looking
the war means
bad
we
and
die.
people
Yeah.
dying.
If
How
we're
many
going to
people
lose
die?
the war,
Do you think
Americans
have a
to
death
die.
number?
Stop,
How many
stop,
soldiers have
stop,
died?
stop, stop.
All right.
Okay,
We're
he
gonna have
finished
to. I'm
talking.
gonna
He
have to
finished
fucking
talking,
moderate
so
this
I
shit.
was
Stop,
gonna.
Elliot.
Okay,
Stop.
okay.
All right. since we have to act like fucking children, one person's going to be speaking. When they're done, they're going to say they landed their plane or that they're done. Then the next person speaks, and so on. Fucking mute if you're not speaking, because that is just going to get you to interrupt. So I'm looking at you, Cook, and I'm looking at you, Elliot. If somebody is speaking, just mute up. When it's your turn after you've heard, I've landed my plane, by all means, fucking pipe up.
Why would you just point us out?
Please, because you're the one who's interrupting more than anybody else.
So if I point out someone else interrupting, you're going to have the same energy?
Shut up! And please be concise when you speak. Don't go on for fucking 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, so when you... Okay, sorry, we start talking at the same exact time. Yeah, I'll just respond to this real quick because it takes like 2 seconds. But if you are hoping for America to lose a war, that includes Americans dying. There's no other way for us to lose a war unless you're hoping for our pilots to die or our sailors to die. How else would we lose it? I mean, if you're talking about a political
5 seconds.
If you're talking about a political loss, then sure, but you're hoping for Americans to die, and now I'm done.
Here's the thing. What you guys are just totally like missing the point. All right. And I don't care what you said about me. You could say whatever the fuck you want to. And you could call me stupid and you can call me un-American, whatever you want to call me. Okay. But here's the news. We can disagree with this war. You know, we can do that. And you can say, somehow your false claim that the left would wish that Americans would unalive. But that's your prerogative. You can think whatever you want, but what you don't understand is that we have the right to disagree. We have the fundamental right to disagree and speak out and no, we don't have the right to go fight on behalf of the Italians. That was a really bad analogy. You're taking it too far, but this is what fundamentally makes us America and our freedoms.
First of all, you absolutely do have a right to go defect and go to the other side. We're going to call you treasonous and a bad person, but you have the right to leave here and do whatever you want to do. But what I'm saying is as a great example, because I said if we go to war against Sudan right now and you go, the Sudanese should win, I'm supporting them, then you know what, go fight for them. Because if you join the military and you go, Sudanese should win, I'm going to think that you're going to betray me. So why it would be logical to say that you're probably voting for the other side to win, therefore you're probably going to act against us for them to win. That's a great example. I'm not disagreeing with your right to say what you want to say, but I think what you say indicates the type of person you are. And I'm saying that the type of person that you might be representing doesn't need to have a place in America, doesn't need to represent Americans politically, and they shouldn't decide policies. That's just my opinion.
Cook, here's my problem with the line of words you just said without even attacking your logic. You said Sudan instead of Sudan. I don't think you know what country you're talking about. I don't. I'm not even trying to be rude to you, my guy.
Like my logic, shut up about the pronunciation.
You said Sudan like the car.
Yeah, shut up about the pronunciation and attack the logic.
All right.
Here's the reason why. Here's my point.
Why are you making fun of pronunciation? It's like if someone said Iran instead of Iran.
All right. You guys, I have a couple rules. I get to say shut the fuck up because it is my panel, but nobody else tells anybody else to shut up on my panel. You also do not use pet names. No honey, sweetie, darling, whatever. None of that shit either. Those are the only 2 rules that I really have on my panel. So please do not tell people to shut up. Thank you.
My problem is I don't think you know where Sudan is on a map, and I feel like you're using this as your whole crutch right now.
I mean, okay, I don't know where that comes from. I can say, oh, you don't know Sudan on a map either, but I'm sure we can both go to a map and point out Sudan. I don't know what sort of argument this is. You're saying, and piggybacking off of him, you can go and say, hey, whatever, I hope America loses. You can say freedom of speech, exactly. You can say whatever the hell you want, but I don't think we should allow immigrants in that are like, I hope my home country wins this war against America, or I hope to bring a bunch of Middle Easterns who are supporting Iran. I don't think we should bring those in.
Have you met any people who are not like homegrown Americans, they tend to be the most patriotic people that exist because
Exactly.
oftentimes they are escaping countries where there is, political dissent. And me personally, I'm a communist. I'm inherently anti-American. I'm homegrown. I don't care what that means. That's not the point. The one thing that I absolutely love about this country that is unmatched to any country in the world, even Western countries, is the freedom of speech here. The ability to express yourself freely, to be against your government freely, and nobody is going to harm you. Now, that's being taken away with current administration, but that is one of my favorite things about this country. And you are saying you want to change that for people is just, I don't know, it just seems very un-American.
I never want that. I want to change for people. I said we should not allow immigrants. Those aren't citizens. They don't get the benefit of if they're not a citizen or in this country yet, they don't get the benefits of our Constitution. I don't understand where that comes from. But no, I'm saying we should not let in immigrants who preach for the downfall of the United States. That's all I said. I did not say that you should be arrested for disagreeing with the war. I never once said that. I said we should not allow immigrants in that wish the downfall on our country. We should not.
How do you vet people like that? Do you write on the test?
Constitutional protections are afforded to people inside the borders of the United States, regardless of citizenship or not, as a first point. Second of all, wouldn't them be exercising a First Amendment freedom of speech be more American than just going with the status quo?
No. So that's not what I said. If you are not inside the U.S. or you're not a citizen yet, then you don't get our benefits or our Constitution. Talking about someone trying to illegally immigrate here, okay? We can talk about illegal stuff all day. Talking about someone who's not in the country yet, okay, and they're trying to come over here, and we have to, in the legal process, they are vetted, okay?
Then you're talking about a weird hypothetical of someone who hates this nation who is then making the conscious choice to try and come across and immigrate over here. Can you give me any fucking examples to back this hypothetical up?
All of the students trying to come over here that support Hamas in Iran at the moment.
Like what? And how?
How about the mass protests in the universities for Hamas, supporting Hamas?
Isn't that fully?
Why do I care about that? Most of those protests aren't necessarily about Hamas. It's just they want people to not die in Gaza anymore.
It's just anti-colonialism.
They shouldn't have
That's
started a
all
war
it
then.
is. They didn't start a war. We did. Israel actually did. And then technically we followed up.
Hey, Elliot, can I ask you a question? If all of the goods that went into your country had to be vetted by another country, and if you went fishing more than 20 miles off your coastline and you were shot at, would you think maybe you'd want to uprise against that power put upon you? Maybe could that be maybe something you think about? Because that's what was happening to them. They couldn't go more than 25 miles out to fish. All of their goods had to be vetted by Israel. That's not really how any country lives.
When you have a micronation inside of another country that doesn't actually have their own trade routes and that sort of stuff, yeah. So when Israel is actually having vetting these things that come in, it's because I don't know, Palestine is one of Palestine is a major source of terrorist activity in the Middle East. Who would have thought, bro? It's a major terrorist where a terrorist organization won as government.
So not to
you can say whatever you want, but Israel's going to want to take those measures.
You said a geopolitic term meaning micronation. Tell me another micronation that is being treated the same way as them, because even the Vatican doesn't have to have their stuff vetted before going in. So what other micronation is dealing with the same levels that that Palestine is?
Okay, so like you said, the Vatican, when they bring stuff into let's say any micronation, Liechtenstein, okay, I don't think Luxembourg's actually technically called one. Let's say Luxembourg too. When it goes through another country, all right, when it has to go through another country to actually get there, yeah, it's going to be vetted all day. That stuff's going to be
Monaco? There's
If it's not
there's
if
no
it's not on the
vetting of
coast, first off,
goods.
you interrupted me. And
Sorry
secondly,
about
when it's
that.
not on the
But can you
coast and
land
it
your
has no
plane?
direct trade routes, yeah, it's going to be vetted because it's coming into your country.
Why
But
don't they have direct trade routes?
none of those countries are terrorist hubs in its region. Guess who is? Palestine. Hell, we've seen Palestine and Lebanon have major terrorist organizations and terrorist hubs. We've seen
Okay.
this.
Yeah. Why don't they have any direct trade routes? You keep saying that. Why don't they have trade routes?
They don't have any trade agreements with nations around them or ocean shipping routes.
Why? Why?
I don't
You
know.
think
Your
that
point
they
is
just
here.
don't want to? No,
They don't
I
have
want to
these
know if you
settled.
know. Why don't they have it though?
They don't have these trade routes settled. I don't know
Do
what
you think that they just don't want to trade with people?
I mean, they don't get that. I get to trade with whoever when you're a terrorist organization.
No, that's not the question. Do they not want to trade with people? Is that the reason that they don't have these quote unquote trade routes?
No, I mean they don't. They also don't have trade agreements because no one wants to trade with a terrorist nation. It's like all the countries around them.
It's because
that
Israel doesn't
aren't-
allow it. It doesn't allow it since 2004.
It's
Israel
literally like
hasn't
a
allowed them
terrorist
to do that.
micronation within it. I wouldn't allow it either. If a micronation popped up in the middle of the United States, we wouldn't let them have trade either.
That's
because they're a
not
terrorist
what
micronation.
fucking happened. Israel has been encroaching on Palestinian territory over the past fucking 80 years. They have slowly advanced their border. They have slowly advanced their fucking border over and over and over again, encroaching into Palestinian territory, getting Palestinian homes, taking them away from Palestinians. They have been putting them into an open air prison, dictating what they can and cannot do within their own fucking borders, to the point where, yes, eventually the local populace decided to elect what you would consider a terrorist group in order to combat the encroachment of their territory by what they would consider a fucking foreign invader. And then after that, you continue to bitch and moan about people who are taking land from others, blocking their trade routes, controlling their power, controlling their water, indiscriminately bombing them in refugee camps, in hospitals, in homes, in schools, everywhere, and then still consider to call them the terrorist group is fucking crazy.
Okay, yeah, so they've given their land back like numerous times. 9 days war when Israel beat everyone in the region and then gave all the land back because, they were trying to sign a peace treaty to have peace in the region. But that didn't work because everyone around them is like terrorist organizations and
no, that didn't work because Israel violated it within the
Elliot, can I
first
ask
few
him a real
weeks.
quick question, man?
That's why it
it's
didn't
pertinent
work.
to the argument.
Yeah, what's up?
So Revel, if those Israelis came here en masse, and your positions are that they ought to be legalized. That was the previous conversation. They came here. We gave them a pathway to citizenship. They created multiple communities of straight up Israelis, and they promoted all those ideas that they have, that you're saying that they have, and they're against Palestine. Would you agree with that?
If they're against Palestine?
You do realize, hold on. I feel like you don't realize there are Jewish
Hello? I want to answer his question.
He was directing it at me. I need you to clarify this one more time. So you're stating that people are coming over here, immigrating over here, becoming U.S. citizens, setting up their own what again? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, your positions, right? You agree with them that people should have a pathway to citizenship and we shouldn't turn people away. So if they came here en masse, we gave them a pathway to citizenship. They created communities in which they promoted and circulated their ideas, which by your own admission, it seems like from your argument, it seems like they're anti-Palestine. Would you agree with that, with them coming here and promoting those ideas and having a possibility of changing our country's opinion towards the war, making them more anti-Palestinian?
Yes, it's freedom of speech.
You would have
it would be their constitutionally protected right. Yes.
Okay. What I'm saying is, yeah, that's their constitutional right. But would you agree with that? Would you think that's a good outcome for them to come do that?
Yes, it's their
a positive
constitutionally protected right.
They're
yes.
anti-Palestine.
What have they violated?
Why are you hyper-conflating this?
I'm not.
To me,
One thing is going to be linked to the other.
No, it is not. You're stringing two things together with nothing fucking in between it.
Is all you're doing. Not. Yeah, that's absolutely logical. If they're going to come here and promote their ideas, they're going to be anti your ideas.
You are posing a hypothetical and I am answering you in good faith that it is explicitly their constitutionally protected right to do so. You are then calling me anti-Palestinian for answering your hypothetical in the way that
No, I'm
you wanted
asking
me
you.
to.
I'm asking you if you are, because it seems like you are.
How?
Because you just
What
said
the-
that you'd agree with people coming here promoting anti-Palestinian ideas and beliefs and possibly changing our country to be more anti-Palestinian and be more aggressive, because that's the logical conclusion.
It is.
No,
It's not the logical conclusion.
That is the
Revel, I
logical
can make
conclusion.
it really easy. Revel, I can make it really easy. What Revel's saying is he supports the framework for you to be able to come in and have freedom of speech and freedom of religion and freedom to believe whatever the fuck you want.
We all agree with that.
You calling him anti-Palestinian or throwing that in there just because your hypothetical is bad doesn't mean, like, the point is, if you come here, there's nothing that they're doing to violate the law or break the law by forming a community center or building a church of some kind and preaching whatever ideology they want. That is the freedom of religion. They haven't broken any laws.
It's not a religion. It's not a religion.
They still haven't broken any laws. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly.
No,
That's
I'm not,
the right for
I'm
you
not
to
making a
assemble
case
in a
that they're
group.
breaking laws.
Cookie,
I'm not
didn't
making a
know
case.
Hamas was originally created as a political movement.
No, I understand that. I understand. I'm not making a case that they're breaking a law. I'm saying, do you ideologically agree with that? Do you think it's a good thing for the country?
Yes, yes. If a
You
bunch
think
of
it's
people
good?
moved over here and wanted us to be pro-Palestinian, we would. Yes, let's land.
No, I said anti-Palestinian.
Oh my God.
I'm saying if they promoted being anti-Palestinian, you would agree to them doing that?
Everyone in here is about First Amendment pro rights.
I'm
Yes.
just asking you a question, dude. It's just a yes or no.
Yeah, but here's the problem. We answer it.
Here, I'll help you out, Cook Talk, real quick. So immigrants that come over here and then preach support or have affiliation with the terrorist organization, by the way, they get kicked out. That's part of your immigration paperwork, is that you have zero affiliation with the terrorist organization. And if you are not a citizen and you're still under those under those immigration papers, you sign a thing saying that you have no affiliation and you will not have affiliation for a terrorist organization. So if you start going around supporting terrorist organization, you have an affiliation, you get kicked out. Yeah, sure, whatever, you can say whatever about freedom of speech, but we've had that law in place. You
And
cannot
by your
come
own
to the
admission, they're
US.
terrorists.
And you cannot come to the you cannot come to the US.
A governing body cannot be considered a foreign terrorist fucking organization.
It is when the US declares it as a foreign terrorist organization.
Is it not
I don't care
possible to
what the-
believe
I
that
don't-
the president thinks Hamas is an enemy, even if they weren't? Is that like not an idea in your mind at all?
Hamas has been a terrorist organization before Trump, big dog.
So, are you talking as local, like a regional terrorist, or are you talking globally? Because like their reach is maybe 200 miles outside of Palestine.
It doesn't matter. They are recognized as a national terrorist organization.
By some
Then
Muslim
now,
countries,
you
not
cannot-
all countries recognize them as a terrorist organization.
Okay, the
Listen,
US
according
does.
to hold
the
on,
US
hold on.
does.
Let me finish. According to the UN, countries that are being occupied, like Palestine, in parts of Gaza, West Bank, have the right to resist by any means necessary. So by international law, they are not terrorists. I would take that more to heart than the U.S. law, because, you know, the U.S. only really cares about itself. And so according to international law, they're not terrorists because they are resisting by any means necessary. And it makes sense, right? You're not going to get in trouble, even by U.S. standards, if someone comes into your house and you unalive them because they broke into your house, they violated your space. And, you know, if they set up shop and said, oh, now it's my house, you have every right to push them out. And that's exactly what Palestine has been trying to do to Israel's ever expanding borders, which is why Israel also is not a sovereign nation, because they expand their borders. There's no set borders.
Okay, so first off, the whole house thing doesn't matter when you specifically tack like a peace festival to mass kill people. Now, here's the thing. Here is the thing. If you were saying, oh, they're at war and they're both fighting each other, sure, whatever. You can do that all day. And secondly,
not at war.
I don't care about UN guidelines at all. I care about US laws and US guidelines. UN has done nothing. They sit there and they make documents all day, and they have zero way to enforce it. The UN has never done a single thing ever. The blue helmets go around doing nothing. So first off, I don't care about the UN, and secondly, so when you attack a population hub like the festival in October, when you do that, okay, you are no longer defending yourself. You are now a terrorist organization because you did not go there fighting militant groups. You did not go there fighting militant groups. There was no militant groups there.
All right.
It was civilians.
All right. So if a Democrat gets in power in 2029 and declares that the Likud party in Israel is a terrorist organization, are you going to be willing to go fight against Israel?
If they are declared I never once said I would fight for it. I said, so if they are declared, if the IDF or whatever you want to call it, if they are declared a national terrorist organization by the U.S., then no, I don't think they should be able to. Immigrants of theirs should be able to come into our country. Yeah. Actually, I mean, I don't know if you expected that one, but yeah. So if they declare
anybody that supports them should be deported as well, right?
If you are not a citizen and you are on your papers signed that you will not have any affiliation with it, then yes. You think I'm pro-Israel? I'm not pro-Israel in any way.
I didn't ask if you were pro-Israel. I would just want to know if this
I agree with that all day.
Shut up!
Okay.
Stop fucking doing that. I didn't ask if you were pro-Israel. I asked you. I'm trying to figure out whether this is going to be cogent for all locations on the face of the planet, all people. If an individual president comes in and declares some other country, some other group of people, Republicans, to be terrorists, can we throw them in jail?
I never once said to throw them in jail. I said that if you aren't a citizen, okay, so non-citizens, okay, on your papers that you have to write that you will have no affiliation with a terrorist organization, and then you have affiliation with the terrorist organization, you get deported. That's, you saw that coming. You signed the thing. All right, so I don't know why you're talking about going to jail. I'm talking about non-citizens. Okay, if you're a citizen, you have freedom of speech all you want. If you are a non-citizen and you come and affiliate with a terrorist organization, you should get kicked out because that's our law.
When you sign that paperwork, though, here in the U.S., Hamas was not declared a terrorist organization.
Hamas is a nationally recognized terrorist organization.
They were not when a lot of these people came here and signed up for their paperwork. As a matter of fact, the green card, the first guy that was taken out by the State Department, can't remember his name, but he's been here for quite a long time. As a matter of fact, he was getting his entire education here, and he was here on a green card, so completely legitimate status. And when he signed up to immigrate to the U.S., Hamas was not declared a terrorist organization. So at that time, when he signed the document, there was nothing that said he couldn't.
Yeah, no. So that can still update. So you signing a thing saying that you will have nothing with a nationally recognized terrorist organization. So if Hamas by the way, Hamas was recognized one in 95, by the way. So this isn't something that was just signed by Trump in the middle of it to kick people out. Hamas has been recognized as one since 95. And so let's say you come in 94, okay? You come in 94, you sign your paperwork says, hey, I will have no affiliation with recognized terrorist organization. You sign that, you go on your merry way. And then the next day, Hamas becomes a nationally recognized terrorist organization. No, you can no longer have you cease all affiliation with them, or you get kicked out because that's our law.
You can't.
Hey, Elliot,
That's not the way our law works. Our law is always grandfathered in. You don't get to tell people what they have to do in the past, or you don't get to create a law and then change the law and expect people to live up to the new law without even knowing the new law.
What? We change the law all the time. That's your that's your responsibility as a citizen to know the laws in your area. Laws change constantly. It's like gun laws change all the time.
When you sign a contract, you sign a contract under a specific set of laws. right?
No, when you sign a contract, the immigration paperwork says that you are not allowed to have affiliation with a national terrorist organization. It doesn't go and list all million of them out. Okay, it says you are not allowed to have affiliation with a national terrorist organization. That's what it says.
Elliot, what actual source did you use to say that Hamas has been a terrorist group since '95, when they were a political movement in 2004 that was meant to end the West Bank issue? Because originally Hamas was only put into power because they were trying to come up to some solution with Palestine and the West Bank, and to try to create a two-state situation. Like, I'm a little confused by your timeline.
So the FBI terrorist operation organization center, I think it's called. Yeah. So so the predecessors to Hamas, the group that then formed into Hamas the group that formed into Hamas was a nationally recognized terrorist organization. And when they formed Hamas, that also is a nationally recognized terrorist organization. They say that Hamas has been recognized, and its predecessor groups have been recognized since '95. Hamas took over that when its predecessor group became into Hamas. It's like the same thing with the white supremacist. Okay, when you have Nazis that then go into saying, "Oh, we're the Proud Boys now. We're not the Nazis," and that you understand that that's the same thing. They just changed their name.
But I also want to disagree with you, and I want Palestine to be able to drive to the West Bank with having Israel do 7 guarded checks. I feel like we should be able to meet some sort of common ground, but in your mind, there isn't any. Like, you just don't think Palestine should even exist.
No, I don't think that at all. Okay, I don't think that.
So can we meet on the middle ground that October 7th was so bad, but what was also bad was Israel people illegally going into Palestine, northern Palestine, and building houses to the point where Israel had to come in as a government and bulldoze those houses down because those people wouldn't leave. That's not cool, right? That's not cool either, right?
No, yeah, that's not cool.
Okay, so here's my problem with you say that's not cool, but then when I said to you not even 20 minutes ago, it ain't cool that all of Palestinians' goods have to be vetted. You're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So like, I'm just a little bit confused. Do you not think they deserve any like autonomy to themselves away from Israel? Like, what is your solution here?
So when they get rid of all their terrorist influence and their terrorist government, yeah, it's like us with Mexico. We do strikes in the cartel all the time because, Mexico's not doing anything about it because their government is incredibly corrupted by the cartels. But, we make strikes. The feds make strikes on the cartels constantly. So, that's kind of like Israel and Palestine right now. When they no longer, here's the thing, I am fully fine with a two-state. Both of them should have the full freedoms and autonomy or whatever. I think they both should. Okay, but when Palestine gets rid of a terrorist government, whether by its people or Israel doing it, okay, then we can talk about that. Then we can go and have the conversation. Well, do we want a two-state solution? What do we do?
All
with
right,
all these
you're repeating yourself. Just stop.
Okay, I get interrupted now. Whatever.
Hold on. The point is that the goalpost keeps shifting. The definition of who is a terrorist and who isn't just is up to the discrepancy of the Israeli government. And you can't have that. You can't just say they agree with the Likud or they agree with some of the decisions. They must be a terrorist. You can't just keep shifting the goalpost.
Okay, I think they're a terrorist because the U.S. designated them as a terrorist. I don't care about Israeli law. But they are, by definition, a terrorist organization. They are there to commit terror along the Israeli people. Okay? Do I think Israel's done bad to them in the past? Yes. Do I think all the Muslim expansionist nations have done bad to Israel in the past? Yes. That's why we're at the point where we're at. We can go back in history as far as you want to. Okay? Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Elliot?
Yeah,
I just want to ask you a question. Do you think that if you were Palestinian and you watched maybe your kids die, your parents die, maybe even a few of your siblings die at the hands of the IDF, do you think that you would be a part of Hamas?
I wouldn't be a part of a terrorist organization. Here's the thing.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish your answer. Thank you. And so, are you sure that you wouldn't? Because I do know that at one point, America was battling with England And at one point, had this word existed, I think England would have considered Americans terrorists that were revolutionaries, right? When we were under English rule. And, you know, when English soldiers were over here and English officials taxing the hell out of us, abusing Americans who wanted to question the tax, even going to war with Americans and unaliving Americans. I think England would have considered us terrorists at that time. So I guess my
you
point
can't make
is I'm
a
talking to Elliot.
distinction.
Just Cook, I'm not done.
He can
I'm
hop in, but
almost
wait till she's
done.
finished.
I'm
Wait till she's
almost
finished.
done. And so I guess my point is that you living a cushy American life shouldn't actually have a say in the way people resist oppression. Because you would resist oppression the same exact way. If you were a Palestinian man of fighting age, you would be a part of Hamas, especially if you witnessed all your kids die and your family die.
So you're telling me you can't make a necessary distinction between colonized people trying to get freedom and a terrorist group who
That's
encompasses.
exactly what America was.
Hold
Okay,
on.
so no, we weren't. We were fighting American. We were fighting British militarists and the German mercenaries that they brought, but we were fighting militaries. It's not exactly. We didn't go over to England and then commit a
So are the
random.
Palestinian people not fighting the IDF? And actually, we did.
There's
The only
definitely a
reason.
lot more
Let me
into it.
finish. Let me finish.
Wait, hold on. I wasn't
Let me
even
finish.
finished. I got cut off.
No.
interrupted
Let
me.
me finish, please.
You interrupted
Let me
me.
finish.
Yeah, you
asked me a
interrupted.
question. I'm
You're
going to
going
answer
against
the
the
question.
rules.
You two talk
You
more than
asked
everybody
me
in
the
the panel.
question. You asked me the question. I'm going to answer the question. Americans did do what we would consider in modern day terrorist attacks against English rule. We engaged in guerrilla warfare. It is part of the reason we were so successful against the English, because we engaged in these surprise attacks.
What do we do that was terroristic in an equivalent
Okay,
way?
we were fighting on our guerrilla warfare is fighting on your own turf. That's like saying we didn't
That's
say
what we did to
Vietnam.
the
We
Native
didn't say
Americans, the
okay.
indigenous
We didn't.
people.
We didn't
I'm
say
asking a
okay. You just
question.
interrupted me. So we
What?
didn't say that Vietnam was a terrorist organization because they were fighting us. They're fighting on their own turf. We didn't say that the North Vietnamese and
Palestinians are
Chinese.
fighting on their
Guerrilla
own turf
warfare
too.
is
We
about
treated them worse. We thought they were communists.
Hey.
Okay, so when
1% at a time.
we go. Okay, are you talking? I'm sorry.
I just need you guys to go 1% at a time. Fuck.
Wait, I
So
was
when
quiet
we
for a mean minute. I
Shut
just
up.
wanted to say something real quick because I'm
Go
saying that
ahead.
there's a necessary distinction there. First of all, to define guerrilla warfare, yeah, normally it's on their own terms, but it's just by it's unconventional tactics like a non-traditional warfare, like popping out of holes in the ground instead of going tank for tank. So just that by itself, again, he has a good point. That wasn't considered terroristic acts. Neither is dumping tea into a harbor. It's not a terroristic act. I think that the difference is, hold on, the difference is terrorism is defined by the intent to inspire people, to inspire terrorism, to terrorize people. And to terrorize people, you're trying to incite fear in the people, right?
Okay.
To
Yeah.
promote an
So
ideology.
So can I
the
respond to
U.S.
that? Can I
didn't.
respond to that, Cook?
No, please let me.
The
Can I
U.S. did
please?
not do
No,
that. Was
hold on.
I talked before? Okay, go ahead. B.
Stop.
I'm trying to get a point across. Okay. So the point is that actually when we engaged in these guerrilla acts during the American Revolution, England was our governing body. We did these acts by it fits every definition of terrorism. We did it to incite terror in the English. Let me finish. It is why you engage in guerrilla warfare, because you want to strike fear in your enemy that you can come at any time and that there are no rules of engagement. That is why you do guerrilla warfare. And so we did that to further a political agenda by today's standards that would be considered terrorism the way the US uses it. But by the UN standards, which is what I want to utilize, that, if you're being occupied, you can resist any means necessary, it wouldn't be considered terrorism. And I believe that. Americans were occupied by the British. What they did was not terrorism. But I need you to see that the way the US utilizes this term is very loosely and to fit their political agenda only, including Israel.
Okay,
We are
tell me,
not.
tell me the. Sorry, here, Cook Talk. I'll just say one thing. Can you tell me the one time the Americans attacked a civilian British hub? You can't, because they didn't do that. All right, that's committing terror.
Boston Tea Party. Boston
October
Tea Party.
7th or
You
9th or
guys said it
whatever.
earlier.
That's not a
Boston Tea Party.
civilian.
That's not
That's not a
attacking
civilian hub. We dump
civilians.
tea in a
Guys, one at
harbor.
a time. Stop it.
Okay, we
First of
dump
all-
tea in a harbor. That's not the terrorist civilian act. That was protesting against taxation. Okay.
The only way your question works is if Americans went to England and did some kind of terrorist attack. It was fought on U.S. soil. So what is British civilian? Technically, they're all British. Everybody, all of the
we were not.
No, some of them were
British.
Irish and some of them were black.
No, yeah. So no, we were not technically British.
Stop.
You can't just say stop over there. You
Beloved
talking
God,
about
using your definition of attacking British civilians goes against it because we were British colonies. Everybody was
No, it
technically
doesn't.
British until the Declaration of Independence and until the war ended. We were all technically British citizens.
Listen.
So we fought their military. All right. We had a stand. Well, you can say guerrilla warfare all you want. We had a standing military that fought their standing military, and we won. That's it. The entirety of the U.S. rose up. Okay, we put our states' militaries together, and we're all disorganized, and we beat the British. That is not us going. You can say whatever. It's crossing.
Yeah, that's not even guerrilla warfare.
Elliot, how have you noticed that in every analogy that we use, you can't even meet us halfway? What's the point
Because
of
you're
us
using
even
stupid
talking?
Because I'm just saying
analogies.
you're wrong. It's just
So no, here's my
disingenuous
okay.
and
So here's my
completely
point.
wrong.
Okay,
It's just completely wrong.
Well, it's not though. Here's my. Maybe I'm like just an asshole, but how is this? How are you an under 30-year-old white kid who's probably never left the U.S.? How do you have all the answers when it comes to Palestine? I don't think you do. I think you're just splurting out right now, my man.
Okay, dude, I can say the same. Oh, you're a over 30 white guy who hasn't left the U.S. What sort of thing is?
Well, because
we're all
the
having a
difference
political
is
talk right now.
well, the problem is you're disingenuous. We can't
You're
even come to
disingenuous
middle ground.
too.
No, you're not. No. Here. Let's do this right now. I think if you don't agree with me, you're fucking stupid. No country should have their goods vetted before coming into the country. No fisherman should be shot at if they go 25 miles over the border. Can we agree on that? No, we can't because you think that's cool.
Yeah, so when most of these goods, the reason they vet the goods is so they don't get a bunch of weapons of terror so that they can use on the Israeli populace. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Okay.
No, you know what? Here's crazy. That'd be like America saying, "All right, Mexico, we want to make sure none of your drug dealers got the guns. We're going to search all your cargo." We don't even do that to Mexico. You want Palestinians to be treated less than Mexicans, who you publicly say are drug dealers and murderers. You're talking out both sides of your mouth.
I mean, we blow up drug ships going from the South America to U.S. all the time.
Yeah,
We do that constantly. What? I mean, we've seen these. Yes. 1 second, but let me say this: we blow up the ships coming from South America to Mexico all the time. The drug ships that we find. So what are you talking about?
And it's
We
illegal.
do that.
And it's illegal.
Elliot, like you were saying before, America had a standing military while they were being occupied by the British. No, we didn't. We had militias, but we didn't have a military because we didn't have a nation to represent, because what was happening was illegal under British law. So no, we didn't have a military. We had militias, much like Palestinian had militia groups as well. There is a one-to-one comparison here. You're just so chauvinistic in your thinking that you're not able to see it.
Okay, so states did. You can say militia, military. They had a organized. So states. I'm not talking about the U.S. States had an organized military force. I mean, you're talking about it was mainly for the natives before the actual before that we fought the English. But yes, states had standing the militaries and militias too.
Yeah, that were under British rule.
Just militias. The word you're looking for is the Continental Army. That's what we were established. That was one of the first things that the Continental Congress voted on, was giving George Washington command of a Continental Army. That was it. You are.
No, I'm not.
There was no military.
That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about at all. This is disingenuous.
Stop it.
This is
Stop.
disingenuous.
Stop fucking
Have you ever
talking.
seen the
God, you were so obnoxious.
Have you ever
That's
seen
not
the
what
movie
I'm.
The Patriot?
Fucking
Because
children.
it kind of shows that the military was kind of a mess at the beginning. We were disorganized. We couldn't even walk in. You act like our military was ready to go. Like if you look at the movie The Patriot, we didn't even know how to properly stand in formation. We had to have a general from the British defect to teach us. Then we realized we're not good enough shooting, so then we had to start fighting in the trees. I feel like you
All
should
right.
go watch that
Well,
movie.
okay. Well, whatever. You can talk about your movie all day long. I'm not even talking about the Continental Army. I'm talking about when we were under British rule. Okay, each state had its own army, standing army, and militias as well. Don't get me wrong. They had a standing army. It was mainly for fighting the natives. When we rose up to fight the British, it was very disorganized. Don't get me wrong. It's very disorganized. It was. That was half the reason why we were struggling at first. Okay. George Washington, I don't believe ever won many battles. All right, but he's one of the greatest generals ever. But here's the thing: we took those armies that were all by state, and we put them together, and then we fought the British army. What we didn't do is go over to Britain and try to kill a bunch of civilians and burn down one of their cities. Okay, not saying we could, but I'm saying that's a terrorist attack. Okay, we did not do any attacks on civilian populace to inspire fear.
So I understand by your definition they didn't do a terrorist attack, but I'm just letting you know if you got really bored and looked up
No,
how
it
much
is by
tea we
his
destroyed.
definition.
We
It is by
destroyed
his definition.
$300 million of tea. They were furious.
No, it is by his definition, because again, those standing militaries that existed in those states were under British rule until they were not. And when they were not, they were considered illegal. They were considered illegal independent militias. They were not supposed to exist. Fuck, how hard is this to understand?
Yeah,
this is a very one-to-one comparison.
Sure, but we
one-to-one.
didn't. That's not what terrorism is.
We
right?
did. We attacked merchants. We attacked ships, British vessels, anything that had a fucking British flag or anything that we deemed fucking British coming into our harbor. Yes, we did attack them.
Okay, so
We were occupied. We should have.
So we did not. All right, we did not just attack a civilian populace for the point to inspire fear. That is the definition
vessel.
of terrorism.
What is a merchant vessel? What is a merchant vessel?
We did not
That
go.
means it's run by
kill a
merchants.
bunch
It's
of
not necessarily run by the British government.
Control
It
of ships
is
that try to come in.
civilians.
Taking over.
Civilians. You're shifting the goalposts now.
Okay, then you can go and say in World War II when we blew up all the U-boats and all the trade ships from Germany trying to bring supplies to them, that's
Just the trade
terrorism as
ships.
well. That's
Just
not
the trade-
terrorism.
Hold on,
That's-
listen. Just the trade ships. In your
How are you
example,
going to interrupt
just
me
the
and say to listen?
just the trade ships, right? What we're trying to point out here is that your analogy doesn't match up, because you're saying that we didn't attack any civilians. There were no civilians. There wasn't the only thing that you could have potentially said was civilian is if we attacked Upper or Lower Canada at the time that was still part of the British Empire. That you would have if we would have done terrorist attacks there, then you would have an argument. But the point is that they were seeking independence. Those 13 colonies were seeking independence. They were the British citizenry until the day that they voted on and made sure that there was a declaration that they wanted to be free. Then they were no longer under the British, according to them, they were seeking freedom. Right? Like, that is the point. Your analogy doesn't work in this scenario.
Okay,
Stop using it.
a revolution. Okay, a revolution is different because the Israeli populace and Palestinian populace are separate. Okay, these are separate things. Okay, and Palestine and Hamas committed a terrorist attack on a large group of civilians. It's not like they found a military base and then attacked it. Okay, that would be different. They found a large group of civilians and then slaughtered them. Okay, that's why we're in the place that we're in. That is not you. Now, if you want to go and talk about, they hit trade ships too. We've done that. Every single war that has logistics, a trade ship has been attacked. If you want to put terrorism,
now you understand.
Okay, just interrupt me then. if you want to put terrorism this loosely, we can go and say every single war is a terrorist thing. World War II was terrorist. World War I was terrorist because we attacked trade ships. No, terrorist organizations are people who commit attacks on civilian populations to inspire terror or fear. That is a definition of terrorism. We did not do that as U.S. We fought in a revolution to rise up against the British, and we fought their military. Hamas and Palestine have not done that.
So
All right,
again, you're so close to getting it. You're actually making my point for me, and you're not even realizing that you're making my point for me. You're exactly right. In that situation in which we liberally attack these trade ships, we should be calling them terrorists, but we don't. We only apply the definition of terrorism to people who are what the U.S. considers enemy of Israel at this point, right? And so you are so close to getting it, you just don't understand it yet. Trade ships are absolutely civilian. They're not a part of any governmental system. The ones that were coming from Britain, some of them were a part of the governmental system, some of them were not. Okay? So they are absolutely civilian. If you were working on a trade ship, Elliot, and you got attacked, you wouldn't say, "Oh wait, I'm with the British Army. I'm with the British." No, you would say, "No, I'm a civilian. Please have mercy on me."
When we blew up all the German trade ships in World War II, is that terrorism?
By our definition, yes. But again, I would like to
No,
go
it's
off
not.
UN
Now you're being
definition.
disingenuous.
No,
No, it's not.
no. By
It's not
your
terrorism.
definition,
You're
yes.
fighting a war. You're
Again,
fighting
you're
a
not
war.
understanding the definition aspect of this. Again, by your definition,
That's not to commit terror.
yes.
You're
By
not
my
committing.
definition, no.
You're not hitting trade ships to commit terror. That's
God,
not the
you are
reason.
so
You're hitting.
fucking
You're hitting
obnoxious.
trade. You're hitting trade ships. I mean,
Hey, I don't have long. Do you guys want the list?
List of what?
List of what?
The
We'll take it.
breakdown categorization of historical events during the Revolutionary War, classified as civilian or civilian government, or just military government, and whether or not and how it applies to our modern day statutory laws around domestic terrorism or international terrorism. So starting off, it's Sons of Liberty, loyalist boycotts, that was a civilian target. Then the Worcester Tory banishment, civilian target. Siege of Oliver family, civilian target. Attack on Theophilus Lilly's shop, that was a civilian target. Destruction of Rivington's press, civilian target. Assault on royal offices, civilian and government personnel. Coerced Stamp Act resignation, civilian and government. The torture of John Malcolm, that was civilian government. The Pine Tree riot, civilian and law enforcement. Sacking of Hutchinson's mansion, that was civilian and government property. Attacks on HMS St. John and Liberty, that was military. The burning of HMS Gaspee, that was a military target.
okay, by this definition, if you want to call that terrorism, you could call every single war and that's happened in history of terrorism. Then in World War II, when we were going across France and Germany, okay, you're gonna call it, is that terrorism? Tell me if it's terrorism.
Exactly. It's almost like the term means nothing, even when we use it against people who believe in Islam.
Terrorism.
You
It does
finally
mean
get
something.
it.
It's terrorism is when you are using a text solely to commit fear or terror among a populace. We didn't do that in World War II. We had a
Sons of Liberty loyalists was terrorism targeting civilian population to force political and ideological compliance through fear and vandalism. Then Worcester was threat of mass violence, infringing on basic speech and property rights.
Okay, so you're talking about one specific small group within
that's
the
it.
revolution. You can do that in any single war ever. Okay, I could talk about how
exactly.
Okay, that doesn't mean every single thing is a terrorist act. When you have a organization, all right, like Hamas, okay, they don't have a standing army and stuff. The only way they get anything done is by committing like large attacks against civilians. Usually suicide attacks. These aren't strategic attacks to hit militarized targets. They go and they hit civilians. Okay, and that's it, because they don't have even the tools to do any useful attacks against a
Oh, you
militant
said this
party.
like 10 times, and we've
And
rebutted
you're
it
just going to
10
ignore it.
times.
That's all you
You
do is
keep
you
saying the
ignore it
same
and
stupid
pull
thing
up some
over
other
and
thing
over.
because
You
they have
keep
no
saying that.
response
You
to
keep
it.
saying.
They
You
have no
keep
response
saying.
to
You
it.
shut the fuck up. God, you're just repeating yourself at this point. Stop fucking doing that.
They have zero response to it.
They
They're
have
the way they
every
want to do it right
response in
now
the
is
world. I'm
ignore
sorry
every
you don't
single
like.
thing
I'm
about
sorry
it.
you don't like the fucking responses, but you've gotten plenty of
They don't
responses.
have one. They're just ignoring it.
I'm
That's it.
sorry you don't like the responses, but you've gotten plenty of responses.
They're ignoring it.
Stop
That's what they're
repeating the
doing.
same stupid shit.
They don't have anything to say against it.
Just stop.
No, we have every time. Every
No,
single time,
you
Elliot.
haven't. You have
Man,
you
Yeah,
you
have
got
not
issues.
actually responded to that. You just go off on some other tangent.
Everyone's dad just listed you multiple civilian multiple operations that targeted civilians. We have absolutely responded every single time
Yes,
with
but that's not the only
one-to-one
thing.
comparisons. You just don't like the answer because it doesn't fit your narrative.
That's not the
This
only.
is called cognitive dissonance.
Stop it, Elliot.
That stuff is going to happen, but that's something that's going to
It's
happen
okay
in
for the
war. But
US
that
and it's
doesn't
not
mean
okay for Hamas.
No, I never once said that. I'm saying that when you are in a overall war and that sort of stuff happens as a correspondence to the war, sure, all right, whatever. That stuff happens in war. But the only goal of Hamas, the only goal of those terrorist organizations are to commit fear. They don't have a standing military trying to commit a revolution against Israel. They're
Okay,
not
you're
doing
saying
that.
the same thing again. Stop it.
And they don't have a response to
You're
it.
doing
stop.
it again,
You want to get to
Elliot.
having a response? They don't have a
Stop.
response to
Shut
it.
the fuck up. Stop doing that
Hi.
shit. What the
You're a
fuck
big
is wrong
morning.
with you? Shut up.
Elliot, please stop. Good morning, Mojo.
Fucking people are driving me crazy.
Yeah, valid. What a motor mouth. Anyways, good morning, everybody. We got 69, great number of people in here. If y'all wouldn't mind doing some tapping and sharing out the live to find some quality ops, that would be super duper appreciated. Thank you. Conan, welcome to the panel. Would you give us your age, state, and who you voted for, please?
Sure. I'm 48. I live in Tennessee. I voted Harris.
Libs everywhere. And Elliot either ran or got dropped. I don't know what happened there.
Too many goddamn libs.
Well, now we got nothing but libs.
Yeah, you can drop me because I really. You can drop me now. I just really wanted to tear that guy a new one, and he ran. So that's fine.
It's up to Mojo. I was just hanging out in the request in case y'all wanted help, but now you don't need help anymore because there's nobody left.
B said it right. It's cognitive dissonance, and he wasn't going to budge on. Multiple people gave him examples of what his scenario was, didn't match up, and he just was like, "Nope, fingers in my ears. Nope, nope." So it's just like, how do you reason with people like that? It's literally nuh-uh. That's all he was saying. Nuh-uh.
Ah, so fucking annoying. I kicked that guy like 3 times for doing the exact same thing over and over again. Oh.
Was that the actual definition of, what is it that y'all like to say? Cognitive something or other? Dissonance?
Dissonance?
What is it? Yeah. Was that the actual definition of that, like, being displayed by that person? That's what it was?
I don't know. My definition of cognitive dissonance would be that you are set on one thing and will continue to believe that thing even if given evidence of the opposite.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened there.
Everyone's dad gave him definitions of how we attacked civilians and military targets during the American Revolution, and he was just like, "Nuh-uh."
Well, what I would have said is, all the situation that arose over there on October 7th, there's a long history before it where they were pushing the people of Palestine into the open air prison, all with their support of the United States. And you saw it. We saw it. We saw what life was like for Palestinians in Gaza, right? Completely oppressed, not getting their goods and services. And the Netanyahu governments had the support of the United States with it all these years. It was so obvious to me.
Is there any new news today?
I haven't looked yet. I've been working. I thought it was interesting, and I don't know which one of the ops was saying this because I was working, but someone was talking about like, oh, when immigrants come in here, they have to sign paperwork that they have no affiliation with terrorists. And I'm not going to say there isn't. I honestly couldn't really tell you. I don't really remember. But I can tell you that I don't think that supporting or like having some allegiance to your home country is against the regulations. Otherwise, there wouldn't be such a thing as dual citizenship.
Yeah. I know that the State Department has like 3 different ways they can deport somebody without using the courts, people that have up to and including green cards. One of them would be to lie in your forms about your relationship, your marriage, your spouse, your whatever. Another one, I can't remember what the second one is, but the third one is something to do with giving aid and comfort to enemies of the United States or terrorist organizations or something like that.
Yeah, that's accurate. I do remember that, but like, wouldn't the same apply to a citizen of the United States? Like, wouldn't it be illegal all the same to do that? I don't know.
Yeah, it could be considered treason to give aid and comfort to an enemy nation.
Yeah.
However, Palestine is not an enemy nation. And Hamas may or may not be considered a terrorist organization, not on the national or international level, but maybe we do. But I would suggest that these people aren't supporting Hamas; they're supporting Palestine and the Palestinians. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Another thing I like to talk about when you guys talk about terrorism, I think the definition of terrorism fits pretty well into a box of any attack on civilians in order to change governmental policy. I think that sanctions are terrorism. Because sanctions don't affect governments, they don't affect militaries. Sanctions affect populations. And it seems to me that we put sanctions on a lot of different countries, like Iraq, and we killed 500,000 children with the sanctions on Iraq before we went into Iraq. I would call that terrorism.
I'm sitting with that for a second, but I don't think I disagree.
I was just thinking, are tariffs?
I don't think tariffs are, because that's trade with the U.S. Sanctions, though, especially when you're telling other countries they have to abide by the sanctions. I don't remember what the different types of sanctions are, but one of them is just the U.S. and one of them's where you expect other countries to follow suit.
Yeah, and the examples used in the comments are why I was like, oh, I have to sit with that for a second, because both Cuba and Russia came to mind, and both are kind of the opposite, right? So like, by your definition, we're doing a terrorism to Cuba, but then Liz's response like, wait, so you think we're terrorizing Russia? I had that similar thought process where I was like, maybe, but it doesn't always fit.
But doesn't by definition it would be against our I would just say it's an act of war against Cuba.
No, I would say that the sanctions that we've had on Cuba have been okay because they've been unilateral. They've only been from the United States. We're not stopping anybody else in the world from trading with them until recently.
Right, but I'm talking about recent.
Yeah, when he changed it and put the oil embargo in place and expected other countries to abide by the oil embargo and suggested that we might attack them if they didn't, then I would call that terrorism. Yes, we are trying to force other countries to do the same thing that we do. And I would call that terrorism. Russia, that was like an international thing. I don't think we necessarily laid the tariffs on Russia. I think that was a UN or NATO thing to lay the sanctions on Russia. I think we have our own sanctions, but we don't expect anybody else to enforce those sanctions. Now, the sanctions that we are putting on Iran, we are now demanding that other countries abide by those sanctions too, and I would absolutely call that terrorism.
How about what we're doing with respect to South Korea? Diminishing our support of the military actions against North Korea because they're not supporting us in the Iran war. That's wild.
Hey, El, I think what the guy was talking about, like links to T-ism or whatever, came out with the students that were on student visas and then trying to deport them, if I'm correct.
Are you talking about the students that were protesting and that were basically arrested based on like allegiance to a terrorist thing?
Yes, at least that's what they said when they did it.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Yeah. I've been told that before on this app that as an immigrant, I supposedly don't have the right to protest, and that's silly, But yeah, I think there is a little bit of misunderstanding of what you can and cannot do as an immigrant.
I think all the
Also, just really quickly, I think it's also that they were placing anybody that was protesting in favor of just the lives of Palestinians were automatically in the you must be pro-Hamas camp. And when you don't have distinctions or nuance, like it's super easy to be like, well, everybody at Columbia were in support of Hamas, which is bullshit.
Right. Oh, it's like they went after that Khalid, who had a green card and was married, and they detained him in Louisiana, I think, right? I don't know what the status of that case is, but that was crazy.
JJ in the comments is saying, if you're not a citizen, then no, you don't have the right to throw a protest. I don't know. I disagree, and I know that is an incorrect statement. As a green card holder, I was absolutely protected under, the First Amendment, and I was able to protest.
100%. JJ.
Yeah, but if you want to come up and talk about it, you probably should. I was wrong. I thought I have a meeting at 11, but it's at 10, so I have to drop out in a little bit. Sorry about that, Mojo.
That's all right. Whatever you got to do.
I was looking at something yesterday when y'all were talking about immigration, and it was a state law in Florida. It was really interesting to me. So it was passed by DeSantis, it signed into law in 2023. So it said that all employers had to use E-Verify to check the immigration status of their employees. And I was like, all right, because that was one of the arguments made last night was like, hey, let's, make sure these corporations are checking it. However, they put a stipulation in it that it was all employers with more than 25 employees. And that eliminates 95% of all businesses in the state of Florida that don't have to do it. So it's just another political tool, like, hey, we passed this law and it only affects 5%. So.
Yeah, our Florida lawn mowing friend could hire undocumented as much as he wants.
Why didn't they just go for everybody?
Brown people.
Businesses.
true. That's
Would you like to
interesting.
talk to Jesus H. Christ?
I was bringing him up. I'm ready. Hello, Jesus Christ.
Hello. It's been a while since I've been on here. Hello, everyone.
How does it feel to be risen year after year?
I am risen. I am risen, my children. I am risen. What's up? Hey, so that whole thing. So my day job is I'm a union organizer. Okay. The E-Verify for employees. I'm in the state of Missouri. One of the things we deal with this constantly. Okay. The E-Verify doesn't matter anyway, right? It never matters. It never has mattered. The reason being is because all you have to do is any of your employees just turn them into 1099 independent contractors, and then you're not responsible for e-verifying them. So it's all BS anyway. What's that? Yeah. It's I deal with this constantly whenever I have undocumented workers that come to me and they're like, "Hey, my boss hasn't paid me in a month," and I go, "Okay, well, like let's sit down and like look at all of your paperwork and stuff." I'm like, "Where's your check stubs?" And they're like, "No, I don't have any check stubs." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like they're like, "Well, he said he pays this guy and then this guy pays me." And I'm like, "All right, well, which guy do you work for?" Right, and then. It's always the same answer that, somebody gets paid and then they pay everybody else, and then, at some point none of them get paid, and then they come to somebody like me, and then we take it to the police, and the police go, "Okay, we'll file a report," right? And then they file a report, and that report goes to the county prosecutor's office, and then we follow up with the county prosecutor's office, and even though it is a felony, right, to like write someone a check for $5,000 and it bounces, or not pay your employees, right? It's the lowest priority of all of the felonies, right? It's like a class F or something. So they never go after those employers. So the employers are the problem always, and the laws don't matter. That's the whole story.
Most important question. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I was going to say the most important question that I read today is, so Missouri is the Holy Land? Is that what we're learning from this?
I guess in some ways Missouri's the Holy Land. If you're Mormon, it's the Holy Land. St. Joe specifically, we have a giant tower with a spiral golden staircase. That's where they think that Jesus is going to come walking down, where I'm going to come walking down those stairs to bless the Mormons.
Have you been practicing your walk to come down that? Because people are going to be filming.
I'm going to do it like Fred Astaire, right? Like putting on the Ritz. That's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, that works. Make sure no one can film under your dress or your robe.
It's a tunic, not a dress.
Tunic is the man's dress, right?
Yeah, it's all the same. Jesus be transcending down the stairs,
This is true. So what's going on, guys? What's up, Mojo? What's up, everybody? I haven't seen you guys in quite a while.
I have no idea who you are outside of Jesus Christ, by the way. Like, if you were up here under a different name, I have no clue.
I don't know.
No, oh my God! I don't feel very welcome to you. I remember Civic. I remember you, Ella. Obviously, Mojo. I'm following him.
Well, again, it's Jesus Christ. It's just, I don't know. I didn't think you existed.
Remember, I would come up here and I would be like, especially when you had a bunch of right wingers, probably 5 months ago, and I would go. It was like right after the old Mr. Kirk thing happened, and I would say, I talked to my dad. Charlie didn't make it in, and then they would get mad. And
that was a year ago.
Oh, maybe it was a year ago, man. Okay, yeah, it's been a long time. Well, like I said, it's been a long time. Sorry, I've been out here trying to
do the
organize. Yeah, do the Lord's work. Been trying to organize the working class and do a workers' revolution to propel the revolution.
for you, JC, how do you convince blue collar MAGA voters that when you hear them out, they don't sound conservative? They might socially be conservative, which is one thing, but like economically, they're not conservative. So how do you get them into your fold?
So I take, you're talking about like with my union organizing?
Yeah, there's going to be people that you run into that voted for Trump,
All the
but then you know that, hey, the GOP and the right don't have your best interest in mind. So how do you fold them in?
So I use the seed theory, right? I don't approach politics, right? I just approach it like, look, I'll even tell them outright. I'll be like, listen, I'm a communist, me personally, right? So I love pew-pews, right? Because how else am I going to overthrow a tyrannical government unless I have pew-pews? And they're like, oh, okay, this guy likes that thing, right? I'm like, I just find commonality with them in these different areas, right? And then I go like this. Hey, if you unalived today, would your boss continue to give your family a paycheck so that they could pay their bills? Right? And the answer is always no. And I go, if you were to quit that job, would you give your boss 2 weeks? And they're like, yes. And I go, if he were to fire you today, would he give you a 2-week notice? And they go, no. And I go, okay, so this is a lopsided relationship. They wouldn't pay your bills. They wouldn't give you the courtesy of 2 weeks. I was like, have you gotten a raise? And they're like, yeah. I was like, did you have to ask for it? Did you have to beg for it? And they're like, yeah. I was like, so all that time you were working, your boss knew that you were worth that extra dollar or whatever it was that they gave you, but they made you come and beg for it, right? So they put all that time that you had been working previously, right? All that money that should have been yours in their pocket. And then I'll usually just like, with this is like, what if you could change one thing about your job and that one thing would have an impact on your life, what would that be? And I'll tell them, you don't have to answer that right now. I want you to think about it. And then I'll leave the conversation and I'll leave them my business card, right? That has my contact information on it.
You're red barn a little.
Then I'll be honest with you, 9 times out of 10 oh shoot. Can you hear me now?
Lagging.
Just cutting in
Is
and
that
out
better?
a little.
He's lagging.
How are you doing today?
9 times out of 10, after I do that, 3 months later, 4 months later, that person will call me and then they'll be like, hey, like I thought about what you said and this thing are happening at work. And there's a lot of us that are pissed off. I'd like to talk about starting a union or what can we do? And then it goes from there. Like right now I'm in the middle of helping some workers that actually make train cars here in Kansas City, which is not usually the industry that I work in. I normally work in construction. But it's the same answer for everybody, right? Like I think everybody, well, I won't say everybody, 99% of people have class consciousness. They just have never thought about it before, right? And once you plant that seed of doubt that the system is fucked and more people are seeing that, all you got to do is just find that little piece of commonality and plant that seed of doubt, and they'll come to you.
Yeah, I have to head out, but my takeaway from this is basically that I might be religious, maybe, because I would absolutely believe in Jesus, especially the way you started all of that was by saying that you're basically commie Jesus bribing MAGA with guns. I thought that was funny. But anyways, I gotta head out for a meeting. I'll see y'all later.
See you later.
See ya.
I gotta head out too.
That's cool. That's all right. Yeah, I'll shut down for a while. Come back up
Okay,
later.
see you later. Bye.